I'm like nervous. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, look at the.
Oh, you can see his face.
Oh my gosh.
Feels good to be back.
Feels good. Everything's a little
Yeah, we just threw this set back together.
quickly. Everything's just a little like jumbled
Yeah.
and a little tense.
We have plans though, I
We
think.
have plans.
For this season, I think that like we're gonna be a lot more organized. I feel like last season was just like the test run to see how committed we could be to doing this and
Which we were,
how
like,
it would work in our schedules.
I think we were like 70% committed.
I think so too. I mean,
Yeah.
the end of this season kind of we faded off, but it was a busy time of the year, and there was just a lot going on.
It sucks because with like our careers, that's like our busy season. Is like towards the end of the season, so it's always really tough to stay on course.
Right, and then I can't remember what was going on in January, but February for the Super Bowl, I went out of town. I went to Philly for my birthday with my sister, and so traveling kind of changed things. But there was something, I don't know, it wasn't that long ago, but I just am having a really hard time remembering.
It feels like
what
lifetime.
happened.
And the off season feels like 10 years, but football season feels like it's over in like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, it goes by. Well, this is also the most fast time of the year, I think, because I feel like August just kind of flew by.
Oh my god, August didn't even exist.
No, and then we were just talking about this at work the other day, like just that August is almost over, and then this is that time of the year where it just kind of you go through those holiday months, and then the next thing you know, it's New Year's again, and. Maybe it's because of football, though.
It could be. Off season just drags, though. Also, because there's not like a whole lot of sports that I pay attention to. Really
right. Yeah. I'm big on the baseball, and baseball has been very exciting for me this season with the Phillies. They've been up and down like normal, but more. The August for the Phillies has been incredible.
I don't know. I hope you're gonna repeat your good luck. Your Philadelphia good luck again this season.
I do too.
Because that was magic for you last year.
It was, but I just hope we can complete it this year.
But still just getting there.
It was exciting, it's always exciting. Obviously, winning would be the best case scenario. And we had, with Philadelphia sports, we had 3 opportunities to win a title and came in second in all 3 of those. But to be able to watch a whole season of sports through the end and have somebody to root for, I can't complain about that.
And that makes your off season go quicker because your season lasted longer.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
That's like the best.
Well, and even too, so me and my sister had gone up to the mountains to watch the game, which was a horrible decision because they're all Washington fans up there. And that alone was crazy because I had assumed that maybe they would be Pittsburgh fans and still would be rooting for Pennsylvania to win the Super Bowl. They all were just going with red and wanted the Chiefs to win. And the Poconos is maybe an hour from Philadelphia. I'm just like, this is crazy. I did not expect this. We'll never do it again. But when I went back into the city for our final day there, me and Cass kind of went to some bars, and the energy in Philadelphia was still incredible. Everybody was just so excited. Like, every person I talked to was just stoked on being there, happy with the performance of the game too. There was nothing to complain about that game except obviously the last call of the game, which to me, a call is a call, and I don't think that's the reason the Eagles lost, but it just kind of made the end. I wouldn't have minded the Chiefs winning as much if it had come down to just the last couple of seconds of tension, because I remember when the Eagles had won the Super Bowl before against the Patriots, that game literally came down to the final throw that Tom Brady threw to the end zone as the clock went out, and there was a chance that he could have scored, did a 2-point conversion, I think, if they got the touchdown. And I think it either would have tied or they would have ended up winning. And that's the game that everybody wanted.
Yeah.
Because it was so back and forth for the whole 58 minutes.
Exactly.
Until that final 2 minutes of the game. And there was that. But, again, the energy was still really high in Philadelphia.
It was a great game to watch. I enjoyed watching it.
It was
I was
really,
very stressed
really
for
fun.
you. But
It was a little disappointing for 5 minutes of my life, and then honestly, the people of Philadelphia made me feel a lot better because they were just like, it's just like, how crazy can it be saying that your team went to, we had the MLS Cup and we went to the World Series. Yeah, and it's just, I'm just happy that our teams are going in the right direction, and the Phillies feel like they're going in the same direction, so hopefully the Eagles will go in the same direction this season also. I'm so excited. I have this...
I'm excited for you.
I have this feeling with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, like they had made their connection, and I just think that there's going to be so much more to that this season.
Another year in the offense, like A.J. Brown's going to be unstoppable. I think he's going to be so
It's going to be cool, and we have a much tougher schedule this season, which
yes, you do.
I'm also looking forward to that. I think that we tend to do a little bit better. Maybe our record might not be as better, but we up against tougher opponents, I think we really kind of like show our actual true color. Like all the games we almost lost last year were two teams that shouldn't have even been on the same playing field as us. And
a tough schedule keeps you on your toes.
Exactly.
It keeps
it exposes you. I think it exposes you. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to a really exciting season this year for our team.
Yes. Why are you looking at me?
Because I want to know how you feel about all the changes on your team.
It's Jordan Love season.
Let's go. I'm excited about Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. I'm really excited. I'll tell you my theory for the season.
Go for
it. 2 weeks ago, my husband and I went up to Green Bay. We went to training camp. That's where I got this cool little Jordan Love head. My theory, he looked really good. He looked really good in practice. Like, the release looks similar to Rodgers. He puts darts, right where they need to be. My theory with the whole thing, I think he's going to be just fine. I think it's going to be a rough first few games. They're going to need to find their groove. But my theory with the whole thing being at training camp and watching practice live was I don't think the receivers are on the same page. I think our receivers are so young.
Your whole team is so young.
Well, the whole team is I'm older than the entire Packers team. I think the oldest dude is 33. That's Aaron Jones. But yeah, I don't know. The receivers just don't look like they know where they need to be. And even in preseason, it looked the same. Everybody was kind of just a little off. And maybe there was a few throws that were a little short from Jordan Love, but he looks so accurate. So my theory is Jordan Love will be fine. Our receivers are just going to need to be on the same page.
They'll get there.
But I think it's going to be fine. I think we're going to be above 500. I know that's a wild theory, but I do.
I think you guys are capable
and
of
I really
that.
like him.
Yeah.
I think he's a humble dude.
How do you feel about his leadership on the team?
He, during the preseason game, he looks so composed and so calm.
Which game? The Bengals?
All of them.
Okay.
He just looks calm and in his element. He looks confident, but he doesn't look shaken up or jarred by anything.
Yeah. I mean, would you still, this is kind of an awkward question because technically he's not a rookie.
He's not a rookie.
But as far
he sat behind Rodgers for, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's learned from the best. He's not a rookie. He's older.
Yeah.
He's not old.
More mature.
But he's more mature. So what was your question?
You kind of answered it. I didn't really know how to word it. But it basically was just kind of he's been in the NFL for 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And doesn't have the experience of someone who's been starting for 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah.
But I think that he's very composed, and I think that's going to take him really far.
And the mechanics just look spot on. I don't know, he's throwing really tough passes.
Yeah.
Rolls out to the left really well, which is very important.
I think he has a lot of confidence.
I do too.
I just remember watching when we had our Sunday night game and Jordan Love had to go in, and that was a true test. You're going against a really strong defense, and
you guys were undefeated.
Were we still undefeated?
I think you were, right?
Honestly, I can't remember who we ended up. We ended up losing. Our first loss was to Washington, I think, which would have been the second time we played them. It was with Heineke and his.
But that was the game. The game against you guys was the game that gave me my first sprinkle of hope.
Yeah, he did really well.
I remember that Monday seeing you at work, and I just felt like a new person because I was really worried before that. But after seeing him play that game and take leadership, it felt good. I think we're gonna be okay. There's all these theories running wild that He's going to suck. We're going to have
People are always going to say that.
Yeah, like,
and
we
then you
can't
know what's
strike
going to
gold
happen?
3 times in a row.
When he starts doing well, everybody's going to be like, see, I knew he was going to do well. The
right.
Packers had nothing to worry about, and if he doesn't do well, they're just going to keep riding that wave.
And everybody's like, you can't strike gold 3 times in a row. How could you do that? And I think if it does happen again for us, people are going to start to really look at draft and develop as opposed to draft and start quarterbacks, like, right out the gate, you know? I think it's going to be a different, it's going to change, like, the scheme of everything if that happens.
It very well could. I mean, especially considering how a lot of quarterbacks, I just think the bar for quarterbacks is being set so high.
Absolutely.
Right from the start that, like, now, I guess Aaron Rodgers is really the last one of those older seasoned quarterbacks, and he's starting. So, I mean, you have a lot that are on the bench right now as backup quarterbacks, but, I mean, it's a new era of the quarterback, and they're starting a lot younger.
NFL's a new era. Like, Rodgers is pretty much it.
Yeah. Can we rip the Band-Aid off and just talk about the reverse of...
I'm still a little sour, I'm not going to lie.
Why?
You know, it's not like... I understand the evolution of the whole thing. I understand it. And I understand why the Packers wanted to trade him. I understand why we're starting Jordan Love. But it hurts. It hurts. I spent 17 years of my life with that man.
Yeah.
You know?
But he kind of went out in a way.
It would have hurt a lot more, I think, if we had a really good season. The fact that it kind of declined made me feel better. But then, you know, it's like salting my wounds watching Hard Knocks. It's like watching your ex-boyfriend thrive.
I haven't watched it, but...
So, and then it's like they call them the New York Packers because, like, I think 7 or 8 of our dudes are over there now. So it's just, it hurts a little bit. But I want him to be happy, and I've thought about this. If he goes out and wins a Super Bowl, I don't think I'd be upset. I think the man deserves another Super Bowl. A lot of those dudes deserve a Super Bowl, like Randall Cobb.
Do you think they have a chance?
I do think they have a chance.
Okay.
I know you might not agree with me on that.
I just feel like the Jets are kind of this hot topic right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, one, they're in a really hot division. And a very competitive division.
And they're going all or nothing. They're
really
kind of going
are.
that Rams route. The year the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Exactly, and I mean, I didn't really think of it that way, but 100%. And
they're sacrificing the future for the present.
See, and I don't think they should do that because they had a really good rookie squad last season that just was underdeveloped, and this is sometimes I feel like when you go out there, but I guess this isn't really true because Aaron Rodgers is taking a pay cut, isn't he, on the Jets?
Yeah, and that's where it stung.
Yeah.
That's where it got me, and I got a little salty.
Is it just because he wants to play with his friends, or he wants to...
I think he's also in the mentality of go all in, but that could have happened with us. However, I think he just has had a toxic relationship with our general manager, with a lot of the front office in Green Bay.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was like...
We'll see what happens. My prediction... I actually don't know how I feel about the Jets. I think they're going to kind of be similar to how they were last season, where they had a 500 season. Yeah. They almost made the playoffs.
They had a very good season.
They might end up making the playoffs this year. But there's also a chance that they might not. I'm not sold on the Jets and all their moves that they've made.
I understand. They're a stacked team.
Yeah.
I think they've put a lot into it. And I think there's a lot of things that or the reason why I romanticize that team. Like, a lot of the Packers are there, and they've invested a lot into the team this year. And then there's Hard Knocks, so you're seeing all these guys, like, gel so nicely every week on TV, you know?
Are they going to be your AFC team this season?
I don't think so.
Do you have an AFC team?
I do. I have to think about it, though, a little more. I kind of think I know what I want to roll with, but... No,
I mean your AFC, not your pick, but your team to root for the AFC.
Yeah, it's got to be the Jets.
Okay.
Because it's the Packers part 2, basically.
Yeah, it's Packers on the other side.
Like, when they come down to Miami,
They're still green.
They're still green.
Almost the same.
Round logo.
Yeah.
I know. It's kind of weird. It's like a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing. But even when they come down to Miami, I'd like to go see
I would
them play.
love to go to that game. Do we know when that? It's the end of the season, right?
December. It's mid-December.
Oh, I might be away.
I
No,
know.
it can't be when you are maybe going to the Chiefs game.
I don't think we're gonna go to that.
Oh, you're not?
Because I think we're gonna do Carolina instead.
Gotcha.
So don't worry, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
I would say that my team, if I were to be a fan of the AFC, is still gonna be the Bengals.
Okay, that's interesting because that's my team too, my AFC team.
Not
that
to
I'm
win.
like thinking. Well,
I mean that if
kind of.
If I'm watching football and there's a team that I am more likely gonna root to win like across the season, when we're not playing, it's probably I'm gonna be watching the Bengals because I just love.
I know we
Cincinnati.
shouldn't get to it yet, but I feel like Joe Burrow's gonna have his moment this season, and I think Joe Burrow. I think that might be the team.
I want that to be the team, but I
think the Bills are going to fall off a little bit.
I think the Bills are going to fall off this season as well. I actually think that the Dolphins are going to end up winning that division.
I do too. I think the Dolphins will be in the playoffs this season.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go all the way though.
I don't think they're going to go all the way.
Honestly, I'd be so hype if they did.
They're just very put together. I was watching their preseason, and they were the only. I didn't watch that final game of the preseason where,
the injuries happened.
Yeah. So I saw. Honestly, I only watched one of their preseason games. But they just looked so, other than Tua throwing an interception, his first pass of the 2023 season.
He had to work out some kinks.
Well, and then it was followed by a bad snap and a fumble.
It was a rough,
I thought
first
was
half.
A safety, but it was. But I mean,
it seemed to be okay.
Yeah. So
after I didn't really watch.
Honestly,
either.
I wasn't that impressed with Tua. I do like Tua. I think he is a great leader. I think that team loves him as their quarterback, which is
huge. I think a lot of the Miami fan base has a lot of support for him.
Yeah.
And they want him to be great. I mean, of course, but
it's something
they really
inspiring,
like
I think, for the city of Miami to have, finally a football team that just... Tyreek Hill is running the show, though.
Yeah.
100%.
He's awesome.
I enjoy watching him play. I love watching him run. He's just so talented and so quick, and it's incredible. So I think that the Dolphins just have so many weapons on their team that are just going to, because so last season was so exciting watching them because they had so many comeback from behind games and just games that were total blowouts. But there were still some of these unorganized moments, and I just think that this year they've got everything.
They're going to put it all together.
Yeah.
And execute.
They're going to be a team to watch for sure.
I think so too. I think the Dolphins have a really good shot this year.
Yeah.
I think they had a decent shot last year, but this is the year.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would be so happy with that. I love a lot of Dolphins fans.
Yeah.
A lot of them are close to my heart. Obviously, living where we do.
I am a hypocrite, or that might not be the right word, because I love seeing them do good, but I also love seeing them do
I kind of feel the same way, though, because some of the fans are so fair weather.
South Florida
exhausting.
fan base is so hard to be around.
It's very different from where we exist. Like, the Midwest and the Northeast are so different with sports.
Oh, my God.
Here, it's just very
You live or die by your sports, and here it's just you support when it's convenient.
Yes.
And
when you're winning. And it's hard to love people that are like that.
I do have true Dolphin fans that, they've supported the team through and through, and most of them were, alive when they last won their Super Bowl. So, wait, was that in the 70s, right? When they had the perfect season, that was in the 70s.
The perfect season was, I think it was 70s.
Yeah, so they're basically, I'm saying they're older
Oh,
fans.
was it 13? No, it was more than 13. We were 13. We went 13 straight. What was their record? I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have to look that up.
I thought you had something to say, but
no,
if you
I was
don't,
thinking in my.
So, I guess, what do we want to talk about next?
I have some hot topics.
Yes, let's go into
hot topics.
Yeah.
Let me whip out
I did not.
iPad.
While you're getting those out, I will admit that you're probably my primary source of information right now because I have not been keeping up. There's just been too much drama going on.
And we haven't seen each other in a week. So,
right.
we usually talk about this stuff at work, but I didn't work yesterday with you. So.
Yeah, I've really been paying attention more to baseball just to kind of forget about football and not
We're not in it yet.
It's not that I'm taking a break. I'm trying to, I'm so excited for it to be here.
Cleanse the palate a little?
No, I just didn't want to keep waiting for it. It makes it draw out longer.
Absolutely.
So I was just trying to distract myself, and then with that, I really just started following baseball a lot more and more and more, especially because, too, the Marlins have been doing really well. So, like, there's just been a lot of things with baseball that I've been paying attention to.
That's great. It's great to have that.
Yeah. So this is all new to me. You know what I mean? And, like,
this is great. Then I will prompt some hot topics, and I really want to get your input.
I do have questions. We've talked a little bit, to the side about certain things that I know we're going to talk about.
But we've left a lot of things to this, like, to our podcast.
A lot of bombs have been dropped, I think.
We're trying to have this as organic as possible for you guys.
Yes.
Because we have a lot to talk about. We've been holding it in. We've been so disciplined.
I know. Oh, I can't wait to tell you my fantasy team.
Oh, I'm excited for that, too. Okay, so my hot topic number 1 is injuries in the preseason. And I have some questions for you about that. I want to know your opinion on it. So first one was, obviously, in our game against the Patriots, Isaiah Bolden, he collided with Calvin Munson, and then he was carted off. I didn't see any movement or anything, and then they ended our game early in the fourth quarter. What's your thoughts? So my question for you, also the one with the Dolphins this week. I think his name, I have it, Dawood Davis. They both had concussions, ended up being concussions, but they also ended that. So it wasn't
neck injuries?
No, both concussions.
Still bad, though.
Both ended the games early, which we've never seen that happen before in preseason, I don't believe.
But I don't think we've ever seen serious injuries like that in preseason, to the point where somebody was left the field unconscious.
Correct. With that said, my question for you is, do you think that the protocols are more strict now because of what happened with DeMar Hamlin? Do you think that's...
I wouldn't, honestly, I would think that, so if these were both concussions,
right. We didn't know that until these guys were released from the hospital.
DeMar Hamlin's situation was, like, the worst thing that can happen.
That is the most extreme situation.
Yes. So I don't think that necessarily prompted them canceling preseason. If anything, I would say if there is like a more if they're trying to be strict about ending the game, or I don't really know. Okay, so where I was going,
it's a good question.
Where I was going with this is that I was gonna say if anything it'd be what happened to Tua last season, having the multiple concussions,
one after the next,
and which these injuries I guess were more in that spectrum because but they didn't know they were concussions right away.
No.
Whereas his were obvious concussions. They had all the signs. But as far as, are you asking like them ending the game? If I think that's...
I'm just curious if you think that, because I kind of have this feeling that we're just...
Is this going to be normal now?
I personally don't think that this will happen in regular season.
I think this is just, it's preseason.
Yeah. It doesn't count. I'm fine with it, to be honest with you.
So a lot of the, I was watching or listening to some channel about it was probably on the news actually, because it was the Dolphins game. And it was, I think Tua had gone on, or the coach, and they were basically saying that they didn't want to put the rest of the team through playing on with that on their mind.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
That's stressful.
These are also, all young. Usually they're younger players, fresh out of college. They're trying to prove themselves on the team. And I think that it's just, there's so many emotions already going on in general that I think it's just... But also, too, preseason is chaotic.
It is.
There were so many injuries
it's not as
this
polished.
Season. No.
It's kind of like a circus. Everybody's running into everybody else, and it looks chaotic.
Yeah, there were so many moments in one of our... Okay, so we had our...
You had some guys carted off.
Was it our first or second preseason game? Gosh, I can't even remember who we were playing.
I want to say it was your first, but I don't know.
Yeah, and... I can't even remember who we were playing. The Browns. We were playing the Browns. Okay, so whatever week it was when we were playing the Browns. We had 6 injuries. And I think 3 of them were carted off. And I'm just like...
Tremendous.
And I think 2 of them were a result of 2 of our own players colliding with each other.
Well, that was the one in our game. The Patriots players collided. And that's...
Yeah.
I with what you said,
That happens in regular season, though. I mean,
absolutely it does.
The whole Devontae... pushing the guy.
That's right. Yes.
Him and Renfro, I think, ran into each other.
But that was my point too. I did write that down. Like these are these were both also rookies.
Yeah.
And I think these guys are playing to prove something and to make the roster, and they're playing harder, and I think this might be a new normal. We're going to just see
I hope
dudes
not.
like playing so aggressively to make the squad, and
I mean, they always...
injuries are going to happen.
So how do you fix that then?
I don't know.
More practice? Like,
I don't know.
adding more roster spots? I don't know.
And dudes are getting faster. They're getting more athletic. I don't know. Is this the new normal?
I hope not.
I hope not either.
But luckily, I think all of those guys ended up being okay. Unfortunately for us...
You should get a starter. Like a very...
He's our backup cornerback, I think. Which is a spot that we're already limited anyway. Our secondary is probably our weakest as far as backups and stuff like that. So we actually just... So this is kind of going into what we were talking about earlier with, like, when you thought that... This is before all this news just came out with Jonathan Taylor and all that.
That's my next question for you.
Okay,
Subject.
then ask you... because
topic.
this kind of relates to an answer.
I don't
to
think
one
I have
of
a
your
question,
questions.
but I wrote down some notes about Jonathan Taylor's situation, and I wrote these earlier, but just before we started filming, the news broke that the Colts are going to stick with him.
Yeah.
They couldn't make a deal with the trade situation.
I think Indy just wasn't satisfied with any of the offers.
Right, they weren't. Thank you.
Yeah.
So he's staying put, and I guess he'll be out till week 5. They're saying at this point. What else did they say?
He's out for 4
to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So my question really is, I don't know. It'd be interesting to get anybody else's take who's watching this on that situation. Do we think he's really injured, or is he holding out to be cautious because a trade could happen eventually? I think they said October he's eligible to be traded again.
I think... I wasn't really listening. I don't know if he's... I think... Well, because they were also saying that he could be traded tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right.
And, but the chances are not very likely because he's out for 4 weeks, so who's going to want to... It's official, he's not playing
for somebody
4
on the
weeks.
pup list, right.
You can't just go on to another team and then be removed. So
right.
I think his injury...
is legitimate.
Is legitimate to a degree, maybe?
We're just erring on the side of caution, basically.
I also don't know enough about his injury to answer this question confidently.
I've been looking online. I couldn't find any kind of thing that said what it was. You're the one that said it was an ankle, which I remember vaguely.
It could be that they're keeping it hush because they don't want it to affect a trade offer.
That's very likely.
Especially with a running back. I mean, we have had so many running backs on the market up until these last couple of weeks. Dalvin Cook. Zeke finally got picked up by the Patriots. Not that I think Zeke is at the caliber of Dalvin Cook and definitely not Jonathan Taylor, but, there's a lot of really good running backs out there, so...
And the timing of this is just kind of whack, too.
I just don't want to believe that somebody... I don't know how it works with football and injuries, but... I just don't see how, if Jonathan Taylor's trying to get picked up by another team, wouldn't you want to be on the field proving your worth? If people are not offering enough money for you to satisfy your team that also might want to part ways with you, then you need to go out there and kind of show people, hey, I could be an option on your team, and everybody knows he's not happy there.
And then there's the alternative side where if you are out there and you suffer some kind of horrific injury, then you're not eligible, really.
So maybe he doesn't necessarily... I wish I would have paid attention to see if it was he put himself on the injury list.
So I think when this all started happening like a month ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I think the Colts came out and said they were placing him on the PUP list. And then he came out and said, I'm not injured. I don't know why they're putting me on the PUP list. There's just been this weird kind of like energy.
It's strange.
There. It's very strange. I think the relationship is not great, to say the least, there.
Right.
I don't think he wants to be there.
But they have a whole new coaching staff, I think.
They do. But I don't know.
Our old offensive coach, coordinator.
Right,
and he's a great coach.
He's a great coach.
Former offensive coach, and now he's coaching your team. And we had success with our running backs. We have multiple good running backs on our team.
I'm so curious as to why he's so unhappy there. Is it?
It's probably
the owner?
Okay, I could see.
Seems he has beef with Irsay for some reason.
I could see, somebody who's super competitive and very talented. I mean, he's like a common first-round draft pick for a fantasy league. So he's a good player, and he's not being showcased the way that he wants to be. And I think that maybe that's getting in his head. And, I mean, you want to be on a winning team.
Maybe he wasn't used properly.
Their season last year was terrible. I'm sorry.
It was awful. He's the reason why I lost all my leagues. I drafted him everywhere.
But aside from that, I mean, okay, look at the whole Nick Foles situation. I would never want to be on a team where other players are injuring me and then mocking me, and then nobody's even going to stand up for him. Like, nobody on the Colts seemed to care about losing, about anybody else on the team, about even trying. And that's just a bad environment that I would not want to be in. So maybe he's just over everybody else's, like, BS on the team. And he's just, it's really hard to be set in your head about a situation and then to, like, just
push it off.
Give it one more try. Because he's given this team plenty of tries. Yeah, totally. And he just wants out. And
I kind of hope he's able to leave. I think what's going to happen is another team's going to suffer like a major injury with one of their RB1s, and then
it's possible
they'll probably trade for him.
So,
which would be really cool.
Yeah,
it'd be exciting.
You had mentioned that there was talk that the Eagles might want to get Jonathan Taylor, and I kind of knew. I think you're actually the first person to tell me that, but I also knew that was not very likely because we just signed. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. I can find it. But he's one of the cornerbacks, which is our situation, because we had McPherson get injured during that preseason game. And he's supposed to be the backup for Maddox, who also is notorious for having some kind of season injury or multiple injuries. But he's one of the ones, I think he came from the Lions, that is indefinitely out of the season for the gambling
Oh, right. The whole...
Even the way
that feels like that was 10 years ago, but that was only like a month ago when all that stuff came out.
I think it was a little longer than a month ago, but it was this summer.
I have no perception of time at this point. Off season, I'm like, it all blends together.
So this is the, from the NFL app, the push notification that I got. And it's just... Maybe you can explain what this means to me. So it says the Eagles have signed free agent cornerback Isaiah Rodgers, who's, this is where it gets weird, suspended indefinitely through at least the conclusion of the 2023 season for betting on the NFL. And I'm reading this and I'm like, he's indefinitely through at least the end of the season, meaning it could be
longer
next season.
Maybe it still has to be tried and investigated, so it's kind of pending.
I'm about to open a whole can of worms with this, because how is this more severe?
Oh, don't even get me started, because I will rage too about that.
NFL, what are we doing? What message are you trying to push? That gambling? I don't know what the bets were that they were doing, but regardless, if you're throwing a game that is 1,000 times more severe than sexual assault charges.
Oh, don't even get me started.
I don't understand this. Is it because we're women and we're passionate about it? But, like, what message are you trying to send? Like, you have somebody suspended who's assaulted, physically harmed multiple people.
Little side note, he, like, came out during a presser, that man, and was like, the reason I did this was because my mom was, what was it, my mom died of cancer or whatever.
When he was a kid.
My
you
life
told me
was
about
hard.
That.
Don't get us started.
Yeah, but I don't understand how...
It makes no sense.
You know...
Because that's a very prominent star in the NFL. It sucks because this whole thing sucks because when I really dive deep into like certain things in the NFL, it makes me not want to watch football.
It does.
But I love football, so I can't.
I love the players.
Yes.
And I have a lot of friends who refuse to watch football just because of how NFL takes a stand on certain things and then doesn't follow through with other things.
And that's definitely one of them.
I'm not saying that gambling isn't an issue and you shouldn't be. I get it. If you have rules and while you're in uniform playing, you cannot gamble on the NFL. I mean, nobody is forcing these men to have a side hustle of betting, whether it's with their own team, not with their own team. If rules are rules, okay?
Right.
There's other things to do to make money, to have fun.
Right.
You can gamble on horse racing. You can gamble on baseball or basketball.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to be, like, just stay away from football. It shouldn't be that hard.
We'd be lying if we said that a lot of these guys probably didn't have fantasy teams where they're having.
It
they're
could
putting
just
money
be
on
something
it.
as simple as
You
that.
know what I mean? Like we all gamble. I gamble a lot.
Yeah, and it's just, but we're going to raise all these flags and punish these players for indefinite, more than one season.
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't
know.
understand.
I think that's so. It's like making a mountain out of a molehill. It's so.
I
silly.
don't understand, and I also don't understand why the Eagles would be a position that we are probably in. That's our biggest concern right now.
Right.
And we're going to trade. We didn't trade much for him, so it's not a total loss, but we still need somebody that is going to be guaranteed to be in this position.
Right.
Because McPherson's out for the season. I think he messed up his Achilles or something. He's out. He's not coming back. Definitely.
That's definite.
Yeah, and so I didn't understand the move, but obviously that's somebody that we're now paying for who may not be playing, so there's no way that we were going to go out and get Jonathan Taylor, because we also just made a bunch of moves with our running backs with DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. So we're stacked on running backs.
You're stacked. You're a stacked team.
So
yeah, the whole Jonathan Taylor thing is just kind of bananas.
This is going
the
to be
Dolphins,
all we're hearing about for
absolutely.
the next
It's going to be
2
like
weeks.
definitely the next 48 hours. There's going to be
For
like
somebody
constant.
who's officially not playing for at least 4 weeks.
4 to 5
he's
weeks.
going to be all everybody's talking about.
And then the Dolphins also submitted an offer, but they declined that too. You know, so
I would have loved to see him go to the Dolphins.
I know, that would have been kind of cool.
So if you could
feel like
see
that would've been a
Jonathan
good
Taylor
fit.
go to any team
The Packers.
besides the Packers.
We don't need him, but the Dolphins would have been.
I
a
would
good
like the
fit.
Dolphins too.
That would have been a good fit for him,
Yeah.
and that would have stacked him even more, give him more of a chance.
Yeah.
But also, the timing is just horrific with this whole thing. And the whole offseason, I feel like we heard so much about the running back. Running backs not getting what they deserve contractually. So
is this because there's so many good running backs out there?
well, I think a lot of teams feel that it's a replaceable position. They can
especially
employ
now with a running quarterback too.
absolutely. They can employ younger, more talented dudes for cheaper. So they don't want to pay.
I could see that. I mean, running backs are a
guys.
dime a dozen, and wide receivers, there's maybe like 6 or 7 that are like top tier.
Right.
The guy that
It's
you want.
so shitty to
Yeah.
think that way, because I mean, these dudes are putting their bodies on the line, and I think they do deserve to be paid.
Yeah.
But it's
I
a
agree.
business.
I agree.
It's a business. So that was my second hot topic. Want to know my third one, which we're gonna have a lot to say about?
Is this?
Trey Lance.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God.
Okay, so side note on this. So you had told me about Trey Lance. I'm just telling them about this whole exchange, and I remember,
texted you the second it happened. I
yes.
was driving. I was like, I gotta pull to the side and text Allie.
I think I was watching Law and Order, and I had to pause it because I was just so confused. I was so confused.
I think
and
everybody is so
I was
confused.
so confused that I was confused about why I was confused. I was like, am I confused because I didn't know that Dallas was looking for another starting quarterback or second backup? Well, actually, they don't have Cooper Rush anymore. So they were looking for a quarterback.
They do have Cooper Rush, don't they?
No, he's...
Where'd he go?
I will look that up
Please tell me that,
give
because
me
I
the
feel
notes.
like I thought he was still there, and I thought Trey Lance was going to be their third string.
I thought they cut Cooper Rush last season before the season even ended.
Please look that up.
Okay.
Fact check me.
So I was confused.
We should know this.
I was confused. I thought we talked about it in a thing. So I was confused on that. And then I also was confused because last I heard Trey Lance was supposed to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers.
Not anymore, baby.
So what did you find out?
Okay.
While I look up Cooper Rush's situation. I would love to
I
have
thought Cooper Rush was still there.
No,
Please
I don't.
look this up, and then I can move on. I'm just hung up
I
on
want to
this.
say he's not because I heard that he was. I wanted him to come to the Eagles. I just
Okay.
remember thinking that, and now we're stuck.
He looked decent last
We're
season.
stuck with Mariota, and he is terrible. This man was a starting quarterback last season, and he's missing his mark not by like a few yards, by almost 10 yards.
I have my feelings about Mariota.
You had your feelings about Minshew too, and I.
Well, Mariota, not great feelings.
Okay,
Because I watched the
great.
quarterback show on Netflix, and I feel like he kind of just up and bailed on the Falcons, and I did not love that. What are you finding out?
He is still on the
Okay,
Cowboys.
all right, so my notes still stand. Okay.
How did he? Somebody told me he's not on the Cowboys anymore.
No. So for today I was doing some
There
research.
is trade rumor though.
You would think, because this seems ridiculous.
This is YouTube. Okay.
When I was doing my research earlier on all this.
This makes this even more...
Absolutely.
Yes.
It makes it way more interesting. So it says that the way it stands now, it's going to be Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, Trey Lance.
Trey Lance should not be a third-string quarterback.
It's crazy, isn't it? That's such a weird situation. Also,
he should not be a third-string quarterback behind Dak Prescott.
Oh, here we go. The Cowboys rage.
I'm not the only one that thinks this, though.
I
Cowboy
totally
fans are over Dak Prescott.
Agree with
okay,
you.
I'm speaking for everybody on this.
I totally agree with you.
I'm speaking for the NFC East on this one.
So, is this the worst trade to ever been done? I want to say yes.
On whose end? The 49ers?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, because listen to this.
Another reason why I was so confused.
They traded 3 first-round picks to move up in the 2021 draft to acquire Trey Lance.
This was 2 years ago.
This was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Who did they trade their draft pick to? Do you remember?
The Cowboys?
No.
The Packers?
The Dolphins. Who did the Dolphins take with their pick?
Tua.
No.
I don't know.
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. So they acquired all those guys with that trade. Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
So then, to make it even more painful, I wrote this down. If they had stuck with that 12th overall pick, so if the Niners didn't trade up to acquire Trey Lance, still available is Micah Parsons, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, and Devonta Smith, and Justin Fields. So if they had just stuck with their pick, they could have acquired any of one of those dudes. But they traded up to acquire Trey Lance, and now...
Wait, who were all those names? Micah Parsons,
Kyle Pitts, Justin Fields, Jamar Chase, and Devonta Smith.
And
all those dudes were available.
Crazy.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I get
they're
it.
all being more successful than Trey Lance.
I get it that like hindsight is 20/20, and like we know now how those guys turned out and how much talent there is there, but still, like it's
But we
crazy.
also don't know.
This is the worst.
We also don't know Trey Lance's potential because he keeps getting injured.
He had a severe injury. Yeah.
Twice, right?
Yeah.
He was injured his season that he got drafted.
Yes.
And
then last year, yep.
In week 3, 4?
It was very, very early in
Yes.
the season. It all seems
just
like a blur at
I
this
just
point.
think that is something. I mean, the 49ers are still doing fine.
You're gonna be okay.
They have McCaffrey. Like, they still
They know
even
what they're
with
doing.
all those potential
and
losses.
Sam Darnold looked great.
Yes.
So I think you're going to be all right. And I
don't think Sam Darnold is starting. Though.
No, it's
Purdy.
It's still going to be Purdy, but Darnold, I mean, he looked good. So I understand. We said this on text
Honestly,
to each other.
I think that Sam Darnold soon will end up being
a starter.
Yes.
And a different team?
On the 49ers.
You think? You think Purdy's going to fall off?
I think that they should switch it anyway because of his injury. There's no... I mean, first of all, I didn't do a lot of research on Purdy's... what route they ended up taking, but I know that their main goal was to get him ready for week 1 of this year. And is that always the best thing to do on a throwing elbow? I mean, look at baseball players and how... And did he end up getting Tommy John surgery? That was one of the options that they wanted. And, that's... I don't think that's something... Okay, your arm, your throwing arm is your money maker. It's not like you messed up your ankle or your knee or your left arm. Like, you are getting the most use out of this
body part.
Yeah,
extremity.
than any other player is of any other body parts they have.
Right.
You start every
They're saying
snap.
Medicine is so advanced. Like, guys are coming back from ACLs in, 8 months.
Yeah, but think about how...
That's a crazy amount of time.
The quarterback throws the ball or touches the ball every time they're on the field. They don't rotate out like other positions.
That's true.
Some positions have shorter routes, but everything is always coming to the quarterback.
That's true.
And it's so... You use your arm so much. So... Purdy is young. We're going to find out very soon
yes, we are.
if this was the right decision to rush him getting back in. I did not get to see him play preseason.
I didn't either.
I was curious, obviously, because, that was a huge issue with, being an Eagles fan last season is, Purdy goes in the last 3 games of the season against all easy teams minus the Dolphins and is like phenomenal, and everybody thinks he's just this shining star, and we take him out in less than a quarter, and everybody's like, well, you guys would have lost if he was still in. And I'm like, well, first of all, our fourth string running back was still passing through your number one defense in the NFL. And also, I think him being a rookie is what caused him to get that injury.
Yeah.
He should have protected himself.
Right.
It was a clean hit.
I think that goes for a lot of injuries with rookies.
Yeah.
They just don't properly
his
know how to
eyes were
protect
too
themselves.
big, and like I'm not blaming him for getting injured, but I think that he is partially responsible, and like it was just like he should have protected himself. You're going up against a team that has the most combined sacks than any other team, and like you're gonna get sacked at least once. And he was playing with fire, and I think that he got burnt, and now he's coming back, in my opinion, maybe too soon. And we'll see. Like, he's going to be going, but, the 49ers have a really easy schedule this year, so we'll see. We'll see. Like, I'm curious. I'm going to be paying attention because, like, I want to be right, but I'll probably end up being wrong. Like, I'm just over
That's not true. You were way more right.
I mean about Purdy. Like, I don't want him to be a good quarterback.
Got it.
I just don't. I want to be right on this, and like, whatever. I have nothing against the guy. Like, he's just a little annoying. Not Jordan Love.
No, I know who you're talking about.
I just think he was
I feel that way about certain people.
I think he was just getting full of himself, his little celebrations and shit. He just reminded He just reminded me of Heineke when he, like, beat the Eagles, and just, like, cheap. I don't know.
Side note, speaking of, like, people that annoy you, I have to say that I used to just have this hatred. No, I shouldn't say hatred, because that's a very strong word. But severe dislike of Kirk Cousins. And then that quarterback show premiered on Netflix. And I like the guy. I like the guy so much now, and it pains me to say that.
This is odd.
No, I know this is a weird.
Never thought I'd hear you.
There was an episode where
I think low-key had a crush on him.
No, I don't. No, I don't have a crush on Kirk Cousins at all. I still kind of like dislike him, but he's just very likable as a person. I dislike him as a football player because of the team he plays for. But that show, like, I felt like he was the sweetheart of that show. And there was this episode where he said he goes to the grocery store to shop, as every person does. And whenever he's there, his rule of thumb is he'll pay for the person's groceries behind him. And I was like, God, I hate that I like him so much. We do have to follow him to the grocery store because everything's out of hand right now. But yeah, he was really nice. He's just like super dad. He seems like super dad.
Yeah.
But I just have to say that. I'm sorry for everything I said last season, Kirk Cousins, because you...
Oh my gosh, you're maturing and I'm digressing. I will.
Very likable.
Okay, well, maybe by the end of this, Okay, so how about this?
I will be informed.
If Purdy proves to be a good quarterback,
you're going to have a public apology?
I will admit that he's a good quarterback. I'm not. What is there to be sorry about? I'm allowed to not think somebody is as talented.
No, you're right.
Like,
and I'm telling you that the hatred will be strong if the Vikings start kicking ass with me again. I'm just removed.
I'm going to clear the air. It's not that I have hatred for Brock Purdy at all. It's the people that keep putting him on this pedestal because he was the irrelevant guy.
You just Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes.
But that's like the last guy in the draft.
Yeah, every year
everybody's
Mr. Irrelevant. And like, but he almost got cut too. So I did a little more research on this. Whoops. And like, I guess he had almost barely made it to the 49ers on top of that, top of being irrelevant.
Do you think if he comes out and he proves himself?
Who do they play in the first week? I have it here.
You'll feel a little bit more.
They play an easier team. The Steelers. Okay. He should do well against the Steelers, but I'm not going to gloat if I'm right after week 1. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if he tanks
I'm
in week
saying,
1,
like, give yourself at least half a season.
Man, all these games that I am... Oh, no, that is... Okay, so that will be the 1 o'clock game I'm watching. That's a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, is the 49ers and the Steelers.
I'm so excited.
Just so I can keep tabs on Mr. Purdy.
I'm so excited.
Oh, me too.
I can't wait. We're so close.
I cannot wait.
We're so close.
How many days away are we?
What's today?
Not 7. This is Tuesday.
Today's the 29th.
So 9 days away from Thursday Night Football, which I'm kind of like, whatever about the Thursday Night Football game.
It's still football. It's
Yeah.
still fantasy football. Speaking of fantasy football.
Yes.
Should we get into that?
Well, I still have some questions about Trey Lance.
Okay. You can't
We kind of
went
off. I kind of...
As we always do. What are we doing?
So,
What are we doing?
let me think for a second. Yeah, the Trey Lance thing just got me all kind of confused. And now for you to tell me that they did all this and he's still just a third string, it's weird.
Isn't
I don't
that
know.
weird?
I guess it's a benefit. I mean, he's a great third stringer to have.
Absolutely.
So,
and
but
I
then,
do think
look,
maybe they'll move Cooper Rush. We don't know.
No. Okay, so now there's a whole thing. Should Cowboys trade Rush, keep Lance and Grier? So now they are also thinking about this is just speculation, but like them asking the question of if they should trade Rush to keep Lance, like, are they also potentially going to trade Lance to another team? Like, is he going to...
I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. But in that whole trade...
This is another thing I'm
there
going to
was
follow.
a lot of teams interested,
in
Trey Lance. The Bills were like a front runner too, but they offered less. I think they might have offered a 5th or a 6th round pick, and the Cowboys offered the most. So that's why. Still weird though, right?
Didn't they only offer a 6th round pick?
The Cowboys?
What did they...
No, it was a 3rd or a 4th. I think it was a 4th. Let me see. I wrote it down.
I just think that
Theo, what are we doing?
So I had...
Okay.
This kind of showed me that the 49ers... This was just a very unorganized era of their... Yeah. It's only a 3-year era. It's not just super long. Yeah. But this whole thing was a mess.
I feel like people could say the same. If Jordan Love doesn't pan out for us, they're going to say that could have been the worst pick in NFL history.
I don't agree. Because...
Are you just being nice because you love me?
No, because first of all, Jordan Love has been backup quarterback.
It was a 4th round.
And Jordan Love was a first round?
Yes, we traded up with...
Oh, that's right. That's why Aaron Rodgers was so annoyed about it.
Oh, yeah. That created the rift.
Okay, the reason why I don't think that was a mistake is because whether Jordan Love proves to be that should have been made or not, you should have capitalized on trading or getting a quarterback while you still had Rodgers.
Yeah, I feel like it was super... Well, no... So after we traded for Jordan
That was
Love,
your best time to get... Whether it should have been your first round pick or not, like that was... I think it should have, though, because you want to have someone on the team...
learning and you want to back up.
That's got the potential.
And also, I think that trade prompted Rodgers to go out and go nuts, and that's when he had his back-to-back MVP seasons.
Yeah.
It kind of lit a fire under his butt.
I also, and again, I don't think the 49ers made a mistake in doing all that work for Trey Lance. I think where the mistake is that they didn't give him a chance to prove that it was worth it. Is the mistake.
Right.
You put all this work into getting this player for a reason, and then you don't follow through with it. And yes, I understand that he was injured, but look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was injured in his first season, and then his second season he goes all the way to the Super Bowl.
You said, I think, over text to me, maybe the injury's worse than they're leading us to believe.
Is he still injured? That was another question that I had.
I don't know.
This is so confusing.
It is. It's
developing.
It's a lot. And this was only a few days ago we found this out.
Yeah.
So we have a lot more to...
Now I want to dive into this whole... Now that I know Cooper Rush is still... Because I thought that they had traded him. I really thought they did.
When I looked it up this morning, I wasn't sure. But when I looked it up this morning, I saw that they were
Maybe it was a dream. I don't know.
It was all a dream.
But anyway, we'll see where this goes.
We'll see. It's another interesting storyline for the season.
Yeah. It's just... I also feel kind of bad, though, for him. I don't think he should be this guy that's going...
Because he's going to be on the Cowboys?
I mean, I think that the Cowboys should consider him as more than a third string quarterback.
I know, that's crazy. But then again, could it be...
So I don't feel bad that he's on the... Okay, so...
If you're a Niners fan,
trying to be unbiased.
I want to know how you feel about this.
We do have a 49ers
fan subscriber. Please tell us your thoughts on this because
he agreed
landscape.
with us about Trey Lance.
Totally.
That he thought Jimmy G should have been playing the whole time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
this is so ironic that our first episode last season, we had the Trey Lance debate on the 49ers starting him, and I was against it.
I remember.
And now he's on the Cowboys. We're talking about him
Juicy.
again, and I'm for him being a starting quarterback. This is how the tides
Oh,
have
how
turned.
the turntables.
The tables turn.
That's an Office joke.
Oh, I'm not a big. I've seen The Office, but
support
anyway.
it.
So I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm so confused, and my thoughts are just.
I think
like,
everybody's confused. I just want to know how the Niners fans feel.
And I also would rather hear about this than about Jonathan Taylor. Why
Yeah.
is this not being talked about and investigated?
Jonathan Taylor just needs someone to love him.
Everybody loves him.
I would love you. Come to the Packers. I know we don't need you, but we'll take you.
All right, so
Fantasy? Can you please tell me?
Okay.
This has been weeks in
So
the making.
before I get into my team, first I want to start by saying I went in with a strategy, and my strategy was I was going to call this the year of the wild card.
Ooh.
So which
Sexy.
apparently is a whole thing this year. A lot of people are like, I saw like a thing on Reddit, like who, like having a wild card draft. And I'm like, I thought I was the only one doing that. But of course I'm not going to
So
be the only
trendy.
one doing that. Yeah.
No.
Like, so.
What defines a wild card draft?
I guess the way I was approaching it is, you have all your obvious picks.
Okay,
like,
right.
Like
your
Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson.
yes,
Okay.
and your Patrick Mahomes,
Right, your
and
Jamar Chase,
yes,
all that jazz. Okay, got it.
So I was just like, and I feel like, I guess the strategy that I thought, or what I thought I was going to accomplish was I'm going to end up with this core, and I was inspired by the Dolphins preseason game with when they had Skylar Thompson in, or Thomas, whatever his name is, and that game. The one where Tua had the messed up snap. I don't remember what week it was, but like, and the interception, like their preseason game, it felt like an actual, they were playing the Texans. It felt like I was watching an actual football game.
That's
like,
how I felt
you
about
had,
all
like,
preseason
yeah.
this year for some reason.
You
It's
had
very
like
entertaining.
67-yard runs. You had like 30+ yard passes, completed passes, and just like good defense, and it was great. And I'm like, I want to have a fantasy team that I can rely on every player on my team.
Wow.
And you do that with wild cards, and you do that with like kind of like sifting through the sand and finding your hidden gems. But unfortunately, I was drafting with a bunch of robots that were all on auto draft, so
auto draft's the worst.
it messed up the whole plan.
However, I will say about auto draft people that they often forget to set their lineup, so you do have a better chance to win. However, that's not how you want to win.
Maybe I'm inspired now to have an auto draft team.
No,
not to where
sacrilegious.
No, not to like just to work with what I end up with, like
I
a
know.
lottery.
I
I'll call
know.
it the lottery team, but I'm not doing that anyway. So my plan was, I kind of went in being like,
This is what I'm
I
doing.
really wanted to end up, so I'm in a 10-person league, and I really wanted to end up in like a 2 or 3 spot because I wanted to bounce back.
Right.
And
That's always great.
I end up in 6th, so I'm just literally
I
waiting.
always end up in
it's
6.
the worst.
Yeah, I don't enjoy
5
that.
through 7, I don't like.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody does.
It's
tough.
It's boring.
It feels like a lifetime before it comes back to you, too.
It does. So that right away, that was bad because I wanted my number 1 pick to be McCaffrey.
Okay.
I was like, this is solid.
Don't we all?
He's not going to be the first person to go. Most likely he'll be the 2nd or 3rd, which he was. Jefferson was the first to go in my league, which I would have never considered. I would have never considered.
I've also been seeing a lot of Jamar Chase first overall.
That makes me a little nervous. I do not have Jamar Chase. But my first pick, which I was actually like, I wanted a running back, my first pick.
Okay.
Did not
We're
go with
going
Derrick
RB?
Henry. Yeah.
Okay.
Did not go with Derrick Henry. But I did so I had my list. I was like, I would like McCaffrey. If he's not available, I wanted, who do you think?
I don't know.
A running back.
I don't know.
Nick Chubb.
Oh, Chubb's a good choice for first
so
overall.
I got Nick Chubb.
I'm a little toasty, I'm not going to lie. So the elevator is not going to the penthouse right now.
Okay.
So you're going to have to help me through
Okay,
this.
so I end up with Nick Chubb. So he was my number 1 pick. The rest of this is just kind of like whatever. So I knew I wanted to have a wide receiver as my 2nd pick. I can't remember.
I like that strategy.
Yeah, and this is where the bounce back would have been perfect.
And this is a standard scoring league.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Yahoo.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if that matters, but so anyway, like, so I had the option between Amon-Ra St. Brown and AJ Brown, which is funny. And I really,
Oh my God, Allie.
wanted AJ Brown on my team.
But you went Amon-Ra.
I did.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because
amazing season.
He had an amazing season.
He was a stud.
So this just in, Jonathan Taylor, blah blah blah. We're gonna keep hearing about this. His
Breaking news. Here first.
Basically, fantasy is telling me don't go with Jonathan Taylor, and I agree because obviously he's going to be out for 4 rounds.
I had a hard time going with him.
He'd be a good bench person, though. If people are dropping him, pick him up on the bench.
I want to know what round he'll be drafted now, knowing all this. When the guys did their draft like 2 weeks ago, I think he was going like 6th over, or like 6th round-ish.
That's deep.
I know. I thought that was deep,
But
too.
now that you know he's out for 4 weeks, that's pretty...
Yeah, now I feel like it's
he's going to be
definitely
more
change.
somebody to, like, have a beefy bench with.
A beefy bench.
But also his performance
that.
last season was not very good, even as a healthy man.
I love that man, but I blame him for my downfall last year.
That was not... You were just cursed with all your injuries.
Oh my God, it was the worst. I've never had a season like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to run it back this year.
Anyway, so I ended up going with Amon-Ra St. Brown just because I thought that AJ Brown could have still been available come the 3rd round. And I was wrong because somebody robot picked him. He was 3 people away. No, I'm sorry. He was 5 people away from me. And I'm like, okay. And then I look at the rest of what's available, and I notice that also going in the 2nd round was all the quarterbacks. And I'm just like, is this a joke? So
Mahomes and Jalen?
No. Mahomes, Burrow,
of course,
and
Burrow.
Josh Allen.
Oh, duh.
And I had thought about...
Jalen Hurts, where is he going?
I wanted...
2nd round? 3rd round?
I'll get there. So I guess technically we were in this 3rd round. But so in my my mock draft in my head, you know, I wanted Josh Allen as my quarterback.
Okay.
Or no, I didn't want Joe Burrow. I wanted Josh Allen. I was like, I'm going to try to go for Josh Allen. I'd be happy with Mahomes, but I knew I probably wasn't going to get him. Didn't get either of them. So I see that Jalen Hurts is the top quarterback that's left. 2 people away, and of course an auto robot also takes Jalen Hurts from me, and I'm like, I didn't want to have Jalen Hurts because I have this superstition about like him being on my fantasy team and putting that extra pressure on him, but like at the same time I was like, well, I really wanted AJ Brown for a reason because I just picture these bombs being passed to him this season.
Right. I think he's gonna have a
who's going to get
year.
more points for a bomb than Jalen Hurts? And so I was like,
and
I'm
the
going to take
quarterback sneak.
Yeah, and his running touchdown. So I think Jalen Hurts is going to be the top quarterback for fantasy points this season.
Very interesting.
And I was like,
we'll note that.
I was just, you know, had I known now that all the quarterbacks were going to be gone in the 2nd round,
So who's your quarterback?
I'm happy with him too. He was going to be like my 3rd option. I have Herbert.
Okay, yeah. That was my Super Bowl pick last year.
Yeah, so I am happy with Herbert. I don't think it's going to be as great. So I had Mahomes last season, and he saved the day so many times for me. I think Herbert's just going to be a very like consistent, like
but that's the name of the game with fantasy. Yeah. You want consistency,
for sure. So so yeah, I have Herbert, which I'm happy with, and then I don't really remember like the rest of like my orders, but at that point, I realized my wild card wasn't going to go the way that I wanted it to. So, basically, I end up in this, like, draft where, like, I went with another running back the next time. I think. I can't remember. So, I have Herbert, Amon-Ra St. Brown. My other wide receiver, I have T. Higgins.
Nice.
Which I was surprised. I think I got him in, like, 4th or 5th round.
Interesting.
And I was... I thought, why not, you know? And then this was a wild card. So this is where my wild card picks ended. So for my 2nd running back, I ended up going with Miles Sanders. I went with him because I think that he is going to be a wild card.
I feel like he's the only thing they have.
That is 100% why I
hate to say that because I've also seen a lot of this talk where a lot of people seem to think that Carolina is the dark horse of the season. Like they're going to kind of swoop in.
Okay,
so low on the radar.
I don't agree.
I don't think I agree either.
I think somebody in that division is going to be a wild card.
Okay.
But
We'll
not
get there.
the Panthers.
We'll get there.
I think that the Panthers are definitely, we're going to start seeing more from them in like the years to come. You know, they have Bryce Young. Didn't really watch a whole lot of him.
Maybe
but
next year.
I think that, you know, they don't have any, I don't really know who is on their team for wide receivers as far as like threats, but I think Miles Sanders is like the biggest threat on their team. Miles Sanders is this very like, his personality is very like, I don't want to say controlling in the sense of like being bossy, but like he's like in control. Yes, takes charge. Perfect. And you know, last season he had his 1,000-yard season, and he is kind of what a team like the Panthers need.
Yeah,
they
and
need
he's
a
kind
solid
of a veteran at this point.
I think that like his time spent on the Eagles developed him into this like great running back, underrated running back. I think that's why he's going to be a wild card pick for a fantasy team, because he is underrated. He was underrated last season and had a few blowout games for fantasy, and I just think that he's going to have, and on a team that rotates running backs. Like we had games where every single running back and our quarterback made all the touchdowns.
Plays, yeah.
Each one of them got a touchdown. So now he's on a team where he's going to be seeing the ball.
He's the first.
Yes.
His first string.
And I think that he's going to, if he's not going to be in my RB2 spot, he's going to be my flex. Because and we'll see, like I'll adjust with that. Now, unfortunately, he has the Q bubble next to him. So this could just be.
Got injured?
I didn't do a lot of research on it. It didn't sound super severe. So, but that inspired my new strategy for my draft, which might bite me in the butt, but this is a free league, so I needed a tight end. And this is kind of where, like, when I showed George my draft, like my tight end situation, again, is just chaotic.
Listen, a lot of people have tight end situations.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not
Who do you go with?
getting the first 4 to 5, you're just kind of screwed.
I think that Travis Kelce...
People take him like 3rd or 4th overall.
Yeah, and I don't go ahead and have him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to blow having, because I think something is going to, I think things are changing on the Chiefs. I don't know if.
I've had this discussion with many. Do you think this is the year Travis Kelce declines? Although last year we did come in here in our first episode and say we just don't think the Chiefs are going to have the year that they've had.
I preached it the entire season.
And look at us! Oh, so
I preached it the entire season that I think the Chiefs were phony, and I still think they are. But I think not in that. Okay, maybe I don't. I said that wrong. It's not that I think they are. I have that feeling again this season.
Okay.
Like,
I think there's got to be a year that's going to happen.
I think that they... they're just annoying. But, like, and I'm not just bitter about losing the Super Bowl to them.
It's because they're so good.
No.
Yes. We love to hate good teams. I hate the Patriots.
No, you know, this is where my conspiracy side comes out. I think the NFL makes them look good.
Conspiracies or just intellectualism for stupid people.
Means. Are you calling me stupid?
No. But I heard that quote the other day and I thought that was funny.
I think that's somebody who is too trusting, like trust too easily. Somebody wrote that.
Yeah.
Because you should always be questioning.
You should always question things.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And I just,
you should always do more research.
My opinion is, I think, valid or validated because everybody keeps calling Mahomes the new Tom Brady. And look how many accusations there were, like, from fans about Tom Brady with, like, deflating footballs and the clock.
Don't get me wrong.
Out.
I think they're going to be a dynasty.
I don't want another Tom Brady. Like, I want
you might have that on your hands. I don't think they'll win again this
year. It's just boring.
Oh, I know. But if you're a Chiefs fan, it's not.
Yeah.
How stoked would you be? So stoked. Are you kidding?
I don't know what that feels like to have a team that is like
a lot of people do. It's so hard to win a Super Bowl.
I know a lot of people would never want Philly to be one of those teams because they just think our egos would explode, but they probably would. But also we've gone through a lot, you know, so it would be nice to have. I love having Jalen Hurts though, even if we don't win Super Bowls or go to the Super Bowl.
He's also such
4 times in 6 years. Like I'm still like he's going to be my favorite quarterback probably for the rest of my life.
I love that man. He's humble.
He's so cute.
He's handsome.
So
Sorry, we just have to be
handsome.
girls for a second. He's
Yes.
such a hunk.
He is. I love him.
When he caught that pass on
His
the
smile,
sideline
his
during the
haircut.
preseason game,
Oh my
I was
God.
like, whew.
He looks like a model. Like, he doesn't look, he just
they're
is
really
like
cute.
staged.
They're
But
really
anyway.
cute. Anyway, moving
So-
on. Back to business.
My thing with Travis Kelce and why I don't think he's like, if you're going to be banking on getting Travis Kelce early, like, good luck with the rest of your team, because I think you're going to end up being like, it's like TREY LANCE. Like, it's not worth all the other players you're passing up just to have a solid tight end.
I get that. Part of me, though, has always been the type to draft tight ends late, and then I just get this kind of like mediocre dude. So this year, I'm kind of like going into it like, maybe I'll try to draft one of the top 5 tight ends.
I think that's good, like in like round 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think I drafted my tight end in round 5. And it was kind of a steal. Actually, it could have even been later, because I was just, again, I wasn't really worried on the tight ends. Luckily, the robots were not drafting tight ends. I think somebody who wasn't auto drafting picked up Kelce in like round 2. He
Yeah.
might have even gone in round 1.
He usually does go in
Yeah,
round
and
one.
I'm like, no, like that's one player. That's one position on your fantasy team.
I've thought about it. I just feel like it would be so weird for me to take a tight end round 1. Granted, it's Kelce, and he's guaranteed to put up good numbers.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid of that year when he falls off.
A lot of people
Or
have
gets
been
injured.
saying that they think that this is going to be kind of like not his normal season.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of feeling the same way. And like what is giving me that like feeling is just how the Chiefs played at the end of the last season. They kind of relied more on a running game.
Yeah.
More than they normally do. I shouldn't say it was most, like they had Pacheco, and like I think that they kind of learned that they have multiple
Weapons.
tools. Yeah. So it's just,
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see, and also too, I just think teams are kind of like expecting Travis Kelce. That's where we messed up in the Super Bowl, is we left that man wide open.
Oh, you can't do that. You should know better. No offense.
Seriously.
But like,
well, that's
hello.
why we left our DC, we left Gannon in Arizona, and he's their head
Yeah,
coach.
that's
So
right.
good luck to you guys, and
That's going to be a shit show. No offense to any Cardinals fans. I just don't see that playing out well this season.
So for my, again, like, and I will say, people who draft a tight end in round 1 and 2, like, that is only one slot on your team.
Yeah.
I would make sure that I have like my wide receiver and my running
backs in place
figured
before.
out.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a strategy.
which is where I went with that. And again, when it was like come time to like where I was considering getting my tight end, there was still a good number of tight ends left. Like Mark Andrews was still there.
I really hope I get Mark Andrews again this year.
Yeah.
Because I have a team name that I really want to use. But we'll just wait. We'll just wait. Any Mark would actually work. So
DG was still available. He ended up getting picked right before me. He got picked. So I might have not got my tight end that round, and I waited one more round, and then I saw a really good George Kittle was still on the
I love
market.
George Kittle.
And he had another Q bubble next to him, and I'm like, this has to be why he's
Always.
still late. So I did some research on his while I was waiting for my next pick for 10 minutes. I did some research on the Kittle injury, and they said that he was expected to come back by week 1. So I'm like, all right, easy decision. I'm going to make
love
it.
George Kittle. He's kind
Me
of
too.
my football sweetheart.
He's fun
I
to
kind of have like a
watch.
secret crush on him.
Him and Jamal Williams are just like so
Ah,
entertaining.
Jamal. I miss Jamal. I wish he was still in the Packers. He's the best dude ever.
So this is one you do know that I have. I did go with Jamal. Oh,
yay!
yes. Okay, so remember I was like Gabe Davis or Jamal Williams, and I went with Jamal Williams. Thought I'd be able to scoop Gabe Davis.
I think Davis is going to have a huge year this year.
I had a
I have
feeling
a
about
very
him,
good feeling
too.
about that,
Yeah.
but I don't think you've gone. I think either way, you're sitting pretty,
Yes.
basically.
I think that Jamal Williams. Okay, so that was probably, besides the AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, that was the hardest decision for me to like. I was torn between the two. I'm like Gabe Davis, Jamal Williams, and like I guess again I just thought that like Gabe Davis would most likely still be available in the following round versus Jamal Williams.
Right.
Like
I agree
I
with
had
you
to
on
make
that.
the decision. So I went with Jamal Williams. Not upset with that. I'm happy. In another draft, I might try to get Gabe Davis instead. But I'm going to keep an eye out. If I feel like making a trade, like he's probably going to be one of those ones that like I might try to trade
I
for.
like that,
but
I'm gonna waiver wire it and
yeah.
trade this year.
Well, yeah.
Waiver
So
wire.
I'll go over it too. But somebody has already offered me a trade,
Ooh,
which
know.
I'm going to reject.
Know.
But I will tell you.
It's so funny whenever like after the draft happens and you're just kind of like waiting for week 1 to start. I feel like all these trades get proposed in your league, and I don't know what it is, but I get like very like irritable when someone proposes me a trade. I'm like, ugh.
I do too.
When I get so mad about it. I don't know why.
They wanted 2 of my players, and the 2 that they were offering to trade, one of them they have as a starter on their team. Another one is on their bench. They wanted T. Higgins and Jamal Williams and I'm like, no!
I always get like very mad.
Bro, come on.
And George is like, it's just how fantasy football works, babe. And I'm like, ugh. Like,
but
it makes me so mad.
I think what made me more mad is that they wanted 2 players. 2 players
for
on
your
my
one player?
No. They were offering 2 people for my 2 people.
Okay.
And I was just like, if there's one that you want, then tell me which one you want. But you're not having either of them anyway. Like, especially too because like I need T. Higgins. I don't have a lot of other options as far as wide receivers. Okay. So. Anyway, just to go through the rest of my team. So, yeah, starting team, I have Justin Herbert, Amon-Ra, T. Higgins, Nick Chubb, Miles Sanders, Kittle, Jamal Williams, and my flex, which at first I thought it was the other way around. I thought I had Jamal Williams and Sanders as my flex, and when George was like, I'm questioning your flex.
I think that flex.
Yeah, but no, Jamal Williams all the way, because I think that he is like kind of making his breakout in the NFL, and him being on the Saints, he's having a great time down there, and we'll see. Like, I don't mind keeping him, testing it out.
Funnel cakes.
Yeah, I loved that. That video was so great.
That was so cute.
If you don't follow Jamal Williams on Instagram, you need to follow him. He's just so pure and genuine.
He's a very authentic person.
Yeah, he's great. Oh my God, he's so always smile. Like, and even when he's spitting an insult, he's still smiling. I love it.
Oh, it's thundering.
Yeah.
We're getting some like tropical storm weather down here right now.
Oh yeah, there's a hurricane coming, but it's not hitting us.
But a tree branch did fall on my car earlier.
While we were driving, it was terrifying. So on my bench then, I have, I never remember his first name, but Robinson from Washington. Brian Robinson,
yeah.
Yeah, because he was... So last year, I had Antonio Gibson, and like that guy kept stealing the spotlight, and so I'm just like, well, you're available. I'm going to take you in case the Jamal Williams or the Miles Sanders thing doesn't work out. You never know.
Injuries happen too.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like, this is like kind of backup to my plan with the running back situation. So I feel pretty confident on my running back options.
I feel confident.
You'll love this. My backup wide receiver, I have Christian Watson.
Woo!
He's sitting there available, and I'm just like, this is another one that. Like, he could be a wild card too, because again, you guys have an easier division or easier schedule this year, and he's going to be your guy.
Easy division as well, like you said.
Yeah, he really proved himself at the end of the season. Like he's getting himself figured out. So I got him as my bench because if something happens with one of my other guys, or I could throw him in the flex, like I could play it by the schedule.
May I interject while we're on this subject?
Yeah, go for it. He's your guy.
I'm going to say Watson, love it. But for all you people out there who maybe don't watch the Packers as closely as I do, I think there's going to be a lot of chemistry between Dobbs. So if you can pick up Dobbs in the last round, I think Love and Dobbs have like a connection. They've practiced together. They've practiced together for many years, even before like the whole Packers thing came to fruition. They have the same like training coach, athletic coach. So they were always training together. Nice. So I think like Jordan Love has this chemistry with Dobbs, and I think he trusts him. So I think he's a really good last round pick if you can get him.
Instead of Watson.
No, go with Watson. Okay. Watson's an early round pick. But if you need like a wide receiver for your bench, I think Dobbs is going to have a very good season.
So I went with Watson because I just thought that I see him as like a catch and run guy.
He is so fast.
Yeah, so
it's insane.
I'm just like, okay, more points. You know what I mean? And again, I have him as like somebody.
He's our wide receiver 1 too.
Yeah,
so.
I think he's. He's a little underrated. I got him in a later round, and I was just like, this is perfect.
I think a lot of people are also very afraid to take him.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how Love's going to be.
It worked out in my favor
Ayo.
if he does well.
I'm excited to cheer for him with you.
Me too.
That
gives
makes
me
it even
reason to
more
root for the
fun.
Packers.
Yes.
So, and then my next wide receiver that I have on my bench, I have Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think he's going to have a good season this year, too.
Yeah, and I like having somebody on the Chiefs on my bench. He's on my bench. He's injured, questionable. I don't really know what it was.
Always injured.
Well, I saw it as it's also something that it's not long
Not
term.
severe.
Yeah, like he could be back week 1, could be back week 2.
He got traded mid-season last season from the Colts to the Chiefs, I believe. So I think like more time.
He got a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think more time with the Colts. It's just going to be great.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good this year.
So I got him. I also kind of thought that worst case scenario, I could maybe use him as leverage for Gabe Davis or something.
Trade bait.
Yeah.
Trade
so,
bait.
but it
smart.
also, it's all about making those moves at the right time. Like if Gabe Davis does blow out and have a great season, like I'm not going to be able to trade anybody for him.
No.
So I need to do
But
it
that's
before
okay,
people catch on to my theory.
But that's an okay roster, even as is.
Yeah.
They're going to be stacked.
So then,
be fine.
so that's everybody. And then I have, okay, so this is before, Kittle's been cleared for his injury. He's playing week 1. But at the time he wasn't. So I'm like, I need to have a strategy with this tight end thing in case he's not healthy. Because I remember him being off and on all season last year. So I saw that Zach Ertz was also still there.
The former Eagle.
Also, yes. Also questionable with an injury. Did some research. He should be back by week 1.
I feel like that's a solid bet, Allie. What do they have?
Exactly. Not DeAndre Hopkins anymore.
What do they have?
So I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to go with Zach Ertz because he's somebody that I just have kind of like, I'm holding him so other people don't have him. And then I'll make my decision when I need to. If I need to make room for my bench and Kittle's doing great, I can let him go. If Kittle gets injured and Ertz is on fire, I'm going to keep him. So there was also still the worry of neither of them being ready to go. So back on my team again is Dalton Schultz.
Oh, no.
Because, and my thought on that was he was healthy. He was a tight end. It was either him or Hurst. I forget. Hurst is not on the Bengals anymore. I don't remember what team he's playing for. It could be Panthers. It could be the Bills. I think he's on a blue team this year, but he was available, and so was Dalton Schultz. And I ended up going with Dalton Schultz because he's a great tight end. I don't think he got used enough last season with Dallas, which is why it was frustrating having him on my team last year. He's not on the Cowboys. He's on the Texans.
Oh.
And
she took a Texas team.
Yeah. I literally have somebody. I don't have any people that are on the same team.
You've represented every team across the board. That's very impressive.
Yeah. So, oh wait, I lie. I have Jared Goff as my backup quarterback.
Okay.
But that was just a last minute decision because I
don't think that's a bad. They're predicting the Lions to have a massive year.
Yeah.
So
he was available. He wasn't originally part of my draft. This is a mess. I had drafted Algier from the Falcons. And then I realized he's their third string wide receiver. And I was just like, okay, I don't even need that many wide receivers. I wanted another running back, and I went with Kenny Gainwell. So I dropped him, picked up Kenny Gainwell, because I was just like, okay, Gainwell's going to be another sleeper running back, and he's good for the bench, so I can hold on to him and just kind of see how he develops throughout the season. And then I realized, I was just, kind of spying on all the other teams in my draft, or in my league, and they all had 2 quarterbacks, and I'm like, shit, I really only have 1 quarterback, and I'm like, I should probably drop Gainwell, pick up Jared Goff, so I got Jared Goff.
That's a really good pickup.
I'm happy with it, because I think that Jordan Love is still available, so
I think people are just very concerned to take him.
There's so many good quarterbacks.
There's a lot. I think if you can really wait late into a draft to take a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is a really phenomenal late round pick. Yeah. In my opinion this season. I think that's something I'm going to do.
I think Jacksonville is going to be a very dark horse team, but they might not even be dark horse anymore.
I feel like that's kind of my dark horse team too.
Yeah.
I feel like we might be on the same page.
Dougie P?
Dougie P.
Yeah. I like watching. It's just so refreshing to see Trevor Lawrence under Doug Peterson after like everything that team went through with Urban Meyers. Like,
oh my God.
It's so refreshing. I know what that feels like because Doug Peterson rescued us from our Chip Kelly era and won us a Super Bowl. And now is he about to do the same thing with
the Jags?
Jacksonville?
I totally
like,
see the Jags.
How crazy would that be? We should have never fired him. But I love Nick Sirianni, so it's okay.
You got me thinking, though.
Isn't that wild?
The
just
Jags
patterns.
the Jags just might move up in my brain.
I would not be...
They were up there, but they might just go higher.
They just know how to get things done. So, again, I think Jacksonville is full of, a lot of young sleeper players. You know, you still have ETN there who ended up doing great. That was your guy that you...
That was the one thing I got right last year.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Also, Breece Hall, but if he hadn't gotten hurt, he was going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year, but then he got injured.
Sad.
Those were my two boys, and then, I know, hopefully this year, as much as it would pain me, Breece Hall, I think, yeah. I like a lot of those guys in the Jets. I can't... Yeah. That's my second team, I guess, this year. It has to be.
I had also, I think I might have already said this, but I really wanted Calvin Ridley. He ended up going in the third round, and that surprised me. I was just like, no,
I feel like he's going really high. He's another one I would love to get on my team.
He's just been very impressive in the preseason and spring training and everything. So that's another good pick. I really think that people shouldn't count Jacksonville out because I think they're going to end up surprising a lot of people this season.
I think so too.
They're in not the greatest division, so you have all those games twice that I think they're definitely winning their division this year.
So, little side note, this is really funny. My family is moving to Jacksonville. So my wheels have kind of been turning that I want to move to Jacksonville. So the other night I went online and I was like, all right, I'm going to just look up some jobs with the Jaguars, see what's available. Just for fun. So I saw that they were hiring a mascot for Jacksonville. To be the and I was
be the mascot?
I was looking through it. So I have cheerleading.
You have to go to school to be a mascot.
No.
Oh, you don't?
It doesn't even. So I think this was the backup Jacksonville. So if Jacksonville gets sick, you would step in.
Okay.
So you need you don't even really have, there's no prereqs for it much. They say a background and cheerleading and shit works, which I did have in middle school. I feel like I'm the ultimate hype man. I love pumping other people, my friends. I want to support you.
You love football.
I love football. And then it was you could be 5'3" to 5'6". That's the stature for the uniform. And I was like, this is me.
Oh my God, do it.
So what if
Did you send in an application?
I didn't.
Do it.
I'm thinking about it. Guys, what if I become Jacksonville's backup?
Send it in because...
Will they hire a girl with a Packers tattoo?
Who cares? You love football.
I love football.
Send it in.
I'm a great hype man.
Yeah, send it in because you never know.
They make decent money. I think Benny the Bull in Chicago makes $400,000 a year.
Send it in. Don't even
think about it.
Because make the decision if you hear
back
from them.
What if I'm Allie, I'm moving to Jacksonville because I'm Jacksonville.
Jacksonville is 4 hours away, and I'm wanting to leave this place as well. So I'm
all
about
it. With me.
As soon as we're done with this, you should send an email.
Okay.
Just be hey, are you still hiring for that position?
I've got spirit.
Do it. Man, I would love that for
you. I'm also drunk right now, so I have no...
Well, remember too, so the other day we were talking about sports and hype and everything, and I was just it was always my dream to be that person that rides the horse for the Seminoles or Kansas City retired the position. And I've always wanted either to ride in a movie or but I'd love to be the mascot holding the flag and
FSU.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be sick.
Where he does the rearing.
What if we both get these jobs?
I don't have a horse though. I have a horse, but not one that's gonna be a mascot. I think
they probably provide the horse.
I don't think they do. I think the guy owns the horse.
We can work this out. Don't stress.
I'm also not native. I think isn't the guy that rides for the Seminoles, I think he's Seminole.
Maybe.
So I can't. I don't know.
That's appropriation these days.
I've always wanted a job like that. Ever since I saw Lord of the Rings and
that'd be
all
sick.
those people that ride the horses for that one group, they're all women. It's actually women riding
cool.
the one army. Yeah.
I love that. That's
I'm
so cool,
dude, that was my chance. I could have gone to New Zealand. But anyway, back to football. So
back to football.
My kicker went with Jake Elliott again.
Nice. Great bet.
People are probably thinking I'm crazy for this, but I think everybody's crazy. Okay, so last year I had Jake Elliott, and then when it was like bye week, I switched to Maher. And I know he did not do fantastic in the playoffs, but this guy like saved my fantasy.
That's all that matters.
Sometimes, and like he consistently got me over 12 points a game.
Heyo.
Sometimes he had
That's
18.
Huge for a kicker.
Sometimes he had 21. He's on the Broncos now. He's not rostered on anyone in my league, so I'm keeping an eye on him.
I'm worried about the Broncos.
Why?
Jerry Jeudy's hurt.
Leaves more opportunity for field goals. Like
very true.
So
but I just feel like history's going to repeat itself. I'm worried.
Don't they have Sean Payton now as their coach, or did they get him last year?
I don't remember.
I
don't pay attention.
I think he is the coach for the Broncos.
Sorry, like that's mean to say, but I don't pay attention to the Broncos.
Yeah, but we were all about Sean Payton and talking about him coming out of retirement.
We were. Oh. What's happening?
So, yeah, I have Jake Elliott as my kicker, and then my defense. Defense was also going super early, and I'm like, people.
I hate that shit. That's so dumb.
What are we doing here?
That's so dumb.
I really wanted to have the Bills defense, and I'm like, I don't need to worry about that.
Like maybe like third to second to last pick.
That's where I drafted my defense.
Great, but early, like that's
Dude,
so. I understand they're like a guaranteed
5.
10 points every week, but it's still so silly. There's
so
many
I actually even considered getting the Dallas defense, but I don't think I would have done it because again, like we have a really difficult schedule this year, so I'm just like, no, like I'm not picking anybody.
You're smart to strategize that way, I think.
Do you want to know who I went with?
Of course.
Do you want to guess?
Is the Packers?
I went with the Packers defense.
I know we all want to put Joe Barry's head on a stake. But listen, I think we're going to have a better year this year. The only way to go is
that was my thought. Because, like, okay, so when I'm trying to remember who was still available, there was a few defenses. I think Miami was still available.
I'm excited about this pick, Allie.
Patriots was still available. I think the Patriots was, like, at the number one option for defenses when I picked mine, and the Packers were, like, fourth. And I was just, I don't know. First of all, Jair popped into my head. And I'm like, I wouldn't mind rooting for more interceptions from Jair. And
what's the word? Strapped,
yeah.
Strapped.
So I went with Jair. I went with the Packers. And then also, I remember you saying at the start of last season that you guys put all this money into your defense.
We did.
And I just think it was a little unorganized. And I think the Kinks will work themselves out this year.
I also think that our defensive coordinator's head is on the line this year. So if they don't...
Morale is up on the team.
Yes.
So
they have to perform or he gets like...
I'm pretty satisfied with I'm happy with having the Packers as my defense.
Cool. I think it's going to be a better year for us. I really do.
Good.
I do.
I agree.
I have a lot of faith in this team. I know a lot of people that don't keep up with it might think differently, but for someone that watches it week to week with like preseason and I keep up with the news, I think it's going to be a good season.
This is what's
I don't think it'll be great, but I think it'll be very good. I have no expectations, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
This is what's so exciting about like early... or just football in general is like you have your intuitions before anything starts, and then just seeing like if they were right, if they were wrong, like seeing how things change week to week. And it's
so exciting.
This season is such a toss up. Like there's
been so much movement.
Yeah, and you know that happened last year too with like quarterbacks. Oh my gosh, remember our first episode last year and like the 3 things that I was excited about was Carson Wentz going to the Colts, to Washington.
Yes.
Broncos taking Russell Wilson.
I think they're a Super Bowl contender.
And then Matt Ryan going to Indianapolis, and they ended up all
Everything
being
was a shit show.
The worst. So I'm not even gonna speculate on any of that.
That's how I feel. I'm like, I'm
just like, wow.
I'm almost afraid to be like, Jordan Love's gonna be fine. Like, I don't even want to like.
He's been on the Packers, but how funny is it that like the 3 things that I was just like, this is gonna be crazy, and they were just duds.
The Broncos alone it's humorous. How I was like, that's a Super Bowl contender.
That one game that
ugly.
Oh my god, when they played the Colts last season, and it was like it went to overtime, which was torture.
My god, that was crazy.
Not a single touchdown. I remember
that was
going
so
off
boring.
about that. And I'm just like, it was a Thursday night game. Amazon, you better have
Step it up.
better Thursday night. Is Amazon even doing Thursday night football?
I'm sure they're doing it again. I haven't heard any differently.
Worst season of Thursday night football in my entire life.
So
every single week was so bad. I'm just like...
I'm really excited about the YouTube TV thing, though. Like how you can watch your team in your market, or the market, your team's market. That's what I'm trying to say. That's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
It's like DirecTV, but
so I don't know.
But I do. So
I have NFL
we'll be
Plus or whatever.
We'll
but and I'm.
We go to Slackers.
You already, I was gonna say you already know I'm either gonna be at Slackers, Duffy's, or Hurricanes. So.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
So.
Should we move to our predictions?
Yeah. Well, let's do. Or do you want to do week 1 predictions, or do you want to do?
Let's do week 1 predictions
first,
and then our overall predictions, because that's what we have to do. I'm gonna get my board ready. We got the old trusty boards back. Also, before we move on to this, I'd like to.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to erase this board.
We didn't film the last 4 weeks of.
This is gonna be a disaster.
I have a napkin, but
I thought that would work a lot better.
We'll work on this.
We'll work on this, but I'm happy to erase this and start from scratch.
Yeah.
I plan to win this year, so I don't have to wear this monstrosity again.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
That's whatever.
Okay, so week 1 we have the Lions at Chiefs. Which could the Chiefs not have an easier
opening?
Okay,
game.
So you know what? I actually said
what
that.
What did you
last
want me
year.
to do with this? You want me to write just what?
We're gonna do our picks, and then if you could just on the side write who just all your picks, so then I can tally.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah. I remember last year we played the Lions in week 1, and I was just like, this is just another preseason game, and we only beat them by 3 points. So, oh shit, there's that. But anyway, just throwing that out there. I want the Chiefs.
I want the Chiefs too.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. I think there's a lot of hype around the Lions right now, but it's still Kansas City. I don't really see it going any different.
Don't forget that Kansas City in week 2 lost to Indianapolis.
That's very true. That was crazy. That was a crazy game.
Seriously.
Very cool, though.
So that'll be our Thursday night game. And then Sunday, our 1 o'clock games, we have the Bengals at Browns. Battle of Ohio.
The Battle of Ohio. I love it. I did this last year, but how do I spell Bengals? Is it Gals or Gles?
AL.
I think so too. That's what I wrote on the side.
All right. So it really.
Well,
funny.
I guess my pick.
I was going to write something, and then I'm like, you know what? I actually don't know, and I went to switch it, and I'm like, I had only wrote the letter B, and I'm like, wait, they both start with B, but I actually went with the Browns.
Oh my gosh!
Annoyingly.
See, this
well,
is
I gotta
making
root for Nick Chubb.
True. This is making me nervous because I feel like you have such a solid track record, Allie.
The reason that I went with the Browns is because I always, for the last 2 years at least, the Bengals always kind of come out a little cold.
They do. They come out real flat.
And
wasn't it the first 4, might have even been 6 games, they were kind of flat, wasn't it? Last season.
I don't.
Maybe it was
remember
4.
we were worried that they might not even make it into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So I don't.
Did we tell everybody about how we went to dinner and Joe Burrow was at the restaurant we were
at? We had Good Friday dinner with Joe Burrow.
He was kind
of on the water
next to us at a table with the Bosas.
Yeah,
It was very cool.
And some other guys. They arrived on a boat and we made eye contact.
Yeah.
And
he was wearing his Joe Cool sunglasses.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. Looked like an ordinary guy.
Yeah, honestly.
He looked like he just came off the boat.
Would have never noticed those dudes other than their height.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that made them stand out.
Honestly, nobody in the restaurant even noticed them except for one family.
Yeah.
Just group
and then
of girls.
Once those people started going up and taking pictures, everybody was like, who's that? And then everybody started getting up and taking pictures. Not us though. We played it cool. But it was so cool.
They took pictures with us.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I wish.
All right, and then we got the Texans at Ravens. My marker's not very dark.
I'm using pressure.
Maybe I need to.
Ravens!
Yeah.
Odell. Not that I think he's going to be, like, the savior, but I think this season might be, like, Ravens are coming back.
Were they?
Do you not feel that way?
No, I do actually.
Yeah.
I don't
feel
think
like it's
that
redemption
they,
year.
Yeah.
Like they've been a little bit quiet.
I think that they kind of got like complacent too early.
That's the word.
But that just reminded me. I didn't tell you my trade offer for my fantasy. So remind me once we go through the rest.
We will
of
go
this.
through the trade offer. I will rage at it.
Then we have the Bucks at Vikings.
I feel like I'm having non-flashbacks and like Vikings.
It's already setting in. The hatred is returning.
Bucks at Vikings? All I heard was Vikings.
Baker Mayfield at Kirk Cousins.
Oh my god. Ew. Okay. Damn it, Kirk. Okay, I went with the Vikings.
I went with the Vikings.
Oh my god.
So, side note, how do we feel about Baker and
I don't feel good.
Bucks?
I do not feel good about that. They couldn't get much done last season with Brady.
The fact that Baker is a starting quarterback and Trey Lance isn't kind of
confuses me. That is kind of a weird juxtaposition type of thing.
Yeah, I'm a little like. And the fact that Minshew's now a starting quarterback and Cooper Rush is not, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what these people are seeing that I'm not seeing.
I don't think Baker is it.
No.
I don't think he's it. There was a time where I thought like maybe the Browns were problematic and it wasn't Baker, but kind of part of me thinks that maybe it is Baker. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Well, remember though, the Browns
really rally a team.
I think that the Browns, okay, so we've seen Baker now on the Browns, Carolina, the Rams. Where did he go in between? Was he just
the
not,
Rams? And then he went to Tampa.
He was just free agent for that long?
I think so. He uses cocoa butter, by the way.
Oh, then he was still on the Panthers. Okay, yeah, because that was just not that long
That's
ago.
when I saw the cocoa butter in his locker. And the plaid shirts.
I don't know much about Baker Mayfield, to be honest. I just don't think he's that
I think
good.
he's a better actor than he is a football player.
Yeah, I just think he doesn't take it as seriously as some other
but
people. Like, it doesn't mean as much.
True.
It feels like, I'm not speaking for the guy, but, like, just from what I see, his mannerisms.
I mean, honestly, prove me wrong. But I think the acting's solid.
Like, I honestly, though, I kind of wish that we would have taken Baker Mayfield as a backup quarterback over Mariota.
Yeah.
I'm even
Mariota, like I said, it rubbed me wrong. Like, how do you just kind of leave a team before the season's over?
And go, oh, well, where did he go? He was just...
He just became a free agent.
Well, was that his decision?
Yes. That was weird.
I think he's benefiting more from being on the Eagles than we're benefiting. I would have rather still had Minshew.
Yeah.
Like, at least he's been with the team for a season. And
I feel like Minshew really knows how to, like, rally a team. There's, like, a spirit there. Allie says no.
He's just chaotic. Like, he's just
chaotic.
a little loose cannon. I would have rather had Baker Mayfield as a backup. Hell, I would have even wanted to have Carson Wentz back in Philly as a backup quarterback.
I know.
I don't think Carson Wentz has the... I don't want to use the word talent. That's a little harsh, but, like, he's
obviously
better
talented.
suited for... Like, I think he's just very particular in the way that he wants to be a quarterback. And in this day and age, like, you have to be more adaptable. And I don't think Carson Wentz is as adaptable as needed to be.
How old is Carson Wentz, though? He's
not that old. He's been playing football for 5 or 6, 7 seasons, I think. 7
That's
seasons.
a lot of seasons, though, for the NFL.
He's not had the easiest road, to be honest.
Very transient.
He was injured, twice on our team, and then we kind of just cut him loose. He went to the Colts, where he just kind of didn't really get... I think that's where his career kind of did him wrong, is I think the Colts should have given him one more season to prove himself, and they just kind of shut the door on him, and then he didn't have an easy time in Washington, but Washington had a lot of problems. He keeps going to these teams that just are not... Yeah, and, like, I think that if I were a coach, I would have chosen Carson Wentz over Baker Mayfield. I would have chosen Carson Wentz over Mariota. And I don't know. I feel bad. He's still not on a team.
I know.
Even
Well,
as a
we'll
third
see.
string. Yeah.
He's another one that if someone gets severely injured, a team will pick him up.
Probably not.
Or
He's
not.
just not had a good resume in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, but anyway. All right, so then we have the Panthers at Falcons.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. No cheating.
Panthers at Falcons. Ooh, little marker squeak.
Mine's still not writing that well. I went with the Panthers.
I did too. I'm like, I want to believe in the Falcons. I think they're going to have a better season, but I feel like it's going to take a few.
I think they lost too many players.
I think it's going to also take a few games to kind of get in the groove. And I kind of feel like that with the Panthers too. It's just those teams are kind of on a very similar level for me.
I think the Panthers have nothing to lose.
True.
They got their first round quarterback.
These predictions, week 1 predictions are the hardest because we have nothing to base it on. So it's kind of like you're going on in blind.
Yeah.
Then again, I feel like I always go in blind
every week
because I'm so bad at this.
Yeah. Anything can happen. Okay, then we have the Cardinals at Washington Commanders, who they now have Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback, who was the backup fill-in for Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
I like Jacoby Brissett. I also just like his name.
Washington too, new owners.
Who ended up owning who owns them?
Yeah.
Who owns them?
Who owns the Commanders?
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal. Didn't he buy in? He's part. No, Magic Johnson.
I did not know
Magic
that.
Johnson.
I thought what's his name? Amazon guy was
Amazon. I thought it was Amazon guy, but I think Magic Johnson is now like a part owner of the Commanders. So I think in like maybe 2 years' time, we'll probably have the new rebrand of the team.
The Washington Magics.
That'd be cool.
No.
Anything would be an upgrade from the Commanders. I feel like they could have been more creative.
Well, I went with them for winning.
I did too. I want the same. We'll see.
My mom just called me. It's probably because I forgot the avocados. Okay, so then... Oh, wait. I said the Cardinals and Commanders, right? Okay. So then we have Jacksonville and the Colts.
Oh.
Wow, Minshew against his former team. I'm not sold. Jacksonville.
Me too. I'm going with my new team.
You'll probably be seeing this team on my board a lot this season.
I feel the same way.
Duval.
I gotta get it down right for when I'm their mascot backup. But last year, wasn't it the mascot that had like the mankini on, like the bikini? And I'm not a dude.
That might be a good thing.
Yeah. Can't wear the mankini, but I can wear a bikini.
Yeah. Okay, so then we have the 49ers and the Steelers.
Ugh. You're going to hate me.
You went with the 49ers? I went with Steel City, so...
Steel City!
I'm doing this as a wild card.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with Purdy. It really doesn't. I know that is probably hard to believe, but again, the 49ers kind of came out a little cold last year, and I'm probably making a huge mistake going with Steelers because, they still have some of the best players on their team, but...
I have a weird feeling about George Pickens this year.
I also have a weird feeling about the Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Everywhere I look, I'm like, George Pickens. Like, I see Pickens everywhere I look. And I'm like, is this a sign? Should I be drafting him?
I just think that this is going to be a fluke game for the 49ers, I guess. And I think some things are going to be just... I don't know. I just have this weird feeling. Maybe it is biased. Maybe it's not.
It is what it is. Go with your
It
gut.
has nothing... Maybe it does. I can't even say. But I don't know. I just kind of like... Maybe it's more what I'd like to see. Also, like, I'm just kind of really annoyed at everybody thinking the 49ers are winning the Super Bowl this year. Like, are you one of those people? Oh, God. You're brainwashed, all of you.
I'm not brainwashed. You would hate... Oh, God damn it.
It almost makes me feel a little bit better because...
That I feel that way?
Yeah, because...
Why?
I mean...
Oh, because of my track record?
Yes. I'm not sold on the 49ers. Listen,
What a resume.
they did not impress me in the playoffs. They almost lost to Dallas. It got a little questionable when they were playing Seattle.
I just feel like they're gonna like settle in a little more this season.
What is to settle in? They have like all of the greats on their team.
True. But also there's like part of me that's like, okay, everybody's rolling with the Niners, so that kind of concerns me too. You know, like I kind of get a little skeptic.
The 49ers, okay, why I have a little faith in them, this whole Trey Lance thing. Like, it's just making me kind of like, the decision-making on that team is just a little, like, it's too spontaneous.
Okay.
There's not a lot of thought being put into things,
No,
I
I
feel
think
like.
you have a very good reasoning.
And so I'm just not sold on them. Like, okay, like...
Well, there goes my Super Bowl prediction.
We have the NFC. Everybody is saying Eagles 49ers again.
Yeah.
If you compare the 49ers to the Eagles, and I'm not, again, it's hard because, like, for people to take my word, like, my credit is kind of just, like, tested because I'm an Eagles fan, so obviously I'm going to think they're good. But, like, I'm trying to come at this from, like, a logical, like, you know, I dated a 49ers fan, so I know a lot about the 49ers. I'm an Eagles fan. I know a lot about the Eagles.
Which was hard for her.
It was and it wasn't, like, whatever. It was mostly not during football season, so there was that. But, anyway, so, like, we have a complete team. Like, 100% complete team. We didn't lose a lot of our defense. Probably the best offensive line in the league. Great quarterback. Great running backs. Great wide receivers. Our secondary defense is our only flaw. Great kicker. Whereas the 49ers are, like... great players, but it's almost like that situation that I had when the Browns like recruited all these like good players. It's a lot of talent, and it's just kind of sometimes they get in their own way.
Yeah.
I don't think they have as much chemistry as the Eagles. I'm not saying they don't have any chemistry at all, but like I just think that when it comes to being a more complete team, the Eagles are more of like a more completed team than the 49ers. The 49ers are a great team. I'm not saying that they're not. Like, obviously, they have a chance of going all the way and winning the Super Bowl. They're definitely going to be in the playoffs, 100%. Yeah. They're in a shitty division. Yeah. Like, there's not a lot of competition there.
I'm a little skeptic just because everybody's so hot on them.
But I think they're right
There's
to
a reason.
be hot on them. But do I think they're better than the Eagles? I think the NFC Championship game proved they're not.
Yeah.
We play each other again. It's one of our random games that we have. Wait, or are we playing that whole division? Oh, we are. Duh. We're playing the NFC West this year. So, like, we play them again in Philly again. So, you know, if they end up beating us, I'll put my foot in my mouth. But, like, I'm not worried about that game. And also, that game is sandwiched in between us playing the Chiefs and the Bills. So it's just like...
they're just going to come in with
a lot.
Blazing. Because they're used to being...
So, like, everybody just going off on the 49ers, like, I think that it's just...
hype?
I think it is a hype. Yeah, it's a hype because nobody wants to root for the Eagles unless you're an Eagles fan.
That's kind of true.
It's all over the internet.
I see that,
you know what I mean? So, like,
it's a lot of hatred.
If you're not going to root for the team that's obviously probably the better team... that could be me being biased. You're going to go for the team that is second best.
Yeah.
That's where I stand on it. I could, I'll know more if I notice midway through the season, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to be worried about the 49ers. But right now, I'm like kind of not. Like, I can't really like explain it, but there's something missing from that team that I don't think
you can't put your finger on it.
Yeah, like they're almost there.
See you.
Maybe they lost some of their key defensive players also, which was one of their things I was going for them. So I don't think they've navigated that yet. Like, they've made some additions. Like, they took Hargrave from us, but, like, watching him during preseason, he did not look himself. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, and maybe that's where I was, like, making these, like, because I was worried about Hargrave going there. Like, he was one of our guys that had more than, he had double-digit sacks. So, like, but again, I'm in my soul, I'm not worried about them.
Well, I can't wait to see it play out.
Yeah, but part of me also thinks that, like, we're probably going to beat them during regular season, and then they might be the team that knocks us out of the playoffs, so
I think
we'll see.
Either way, you two teams are going to be, like, at each other's throats. You're going to be like
because the
equal
media
matchups for one another.
The media is going to make it that way. This is going to be like...
I hope it's us. But as history would have it, like before we would always kick the Cowboys' ass, and then like the 49ers would be our kryptonite. So now I'm like, maybe like the tables will turn and it'll be the other way. Like the Cowboys will kick our ass and then the 49ers will kick their ass.
That's what happened this year. Well, the Cowboys beat the
Giants.
We'll see.
It'll be interesting.
Wait, did the Cowboys beat the Giants? No, the Giants beat the Vikings. Who did the Cowboys beat? I don't remember. Anyway, our last 1 o'clock game is the Titans at Saints.
Oh. I like Saints.
Saints.
I really like the Saints
This is not
season.
a team, or this is a team that's not talked about enough.
I agree. I have a weird feeling about these guys.
I do as well.
Olave, I am high on Chris Olave.
What do you think about Carr? And I think he's going to be a lot better.
I think Carr is going to flourish there.
100%.
I think Carr is a quarterback that makes up his mind about a receiver, and then he trusts that receiver and really goes hard for that receiver. And I feel like that's going to be Olave this season. I really think it's going to be... Because I think Devontae was something like... What was it, like 32% of the passes went to Devontae last season. And then the year before that, it was like Renfro. You know? So I don't know. I think Chris Olave is going to have a huge year. I think Derek Carr is going to flourish there. I think the Saints are going to be good. They have a lot of weapons.
They do. And
it's like a quiet,
again,
good.
like I don't think enough people are paying attention to the Saints. And like,
I agree.
You know, everybody sold for NFC. They're all like 49ers, Eagles, 49ers.
Right, right.
Like,
it's like a
there's
quiet.
There's also the Saints though. And like, they're just,
they've been decent years past. It's just.
I think that, you know, Carr going to the Saints solved a lot of issues for both entities involved. Like
totally.
You know, Derek Carr needed a team that's actually going to back him up, that he's going to be comfortable on, and the Saints needed a quarterback.
Right.
They couldn't figure out who their quarterback was last year. So
and then you have Garoppolo with the Raiders. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of interesting stuff.
I don't think that
Josh Jacobs just got the contract.
I don't think Garoppolo is the answer for the Raiders. I think his style is a little different. Like, I don't think the 49ers should have got rid of him at all.
God, there's so much.
I think that was a mistake.
So much there with
you
the
know,
Niners.
That's maybe the thing in my heart about the 49ers is because, like, Jimmy G did a lot for that team, and, like, they just kind of didn't really ever, like, have that in the back of their mind making their decisions. They took advantage of this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he got you to the playoffs last year. He picked you up when Trey Lance didn't work out he took you to the playoffs 2 years ago. Last year with the whole Trey Lance thing and then him getting injured. Jimmy G got you to, like, there, and then Purdy just sealed the deal. Yeah. And, like, he got injured, and, you know, I think injuries just, like, it changes things so much.
Totally.
And again, like, this is another thing about the 49ers. Why are all your quarterbacks getting injured?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But I'm kind of, like, stoked for Garoppolo to, like, finally have a team and a team that rallies around him, you know?
I think that
I don't know if
he should have been
great,
on the Bucs. And I remember that was a thing that they had talked about. And, like, I don't like the Raiders. Like, they put a bad taste in...
You don't think it's a good fit?
I just don't think I like the team. Like, I don't like what they did to Derek Carr. I don't like all the stuff that happened beforehand. Yeah. And, like, you know, it's just, they don't take, like, accountability in the things that are actually wrong. They just blame it on the players. And, like, that's not a good franchise. Like, I'm sorry. So, Oakland's, or I guess it's not Oakland anymore, Vegas, but in general, like, Oakland, you know, they're about to maybe lose their baseball team. Like, I just feel bad for both organizations. And, like, it's just, you know, it's a regrowth, and they're just trying to ignore that fact.
Yeah.
And they're making a lot of wrong decisions, and, like, I'm not behind that team. Like, I like the fans, but I
do you really want to go to that stadium, though?
I know, and you're going to be away, I think, when the Packers play there.
That was the goal.
Speaking of the Raiders, we have our 4 o'clock games. We have the Raiders at Broncos.
I'm sorry. I'm one that's not on. I just don't think the Broncos are gonna be it.
I think
again.
they are in week 1.
What? Oh, I'm going Raiders, baby.
You know, I get they have a lot of injuries. I get they have a lot of injuries, but like, kind of everything that I just was talking about.
They're like, we gotta prove ourselves.
Well, even, like, the Raiders aren't even sold on Jimmy G.
Yeah.
They're saying, like, at any minute, like, he could be traded. But I'm like, who's your backup? Like,
yeah.
It's maybe they'll take Carson Wentz. Oh, you know what? I would love to see Carson Wentz on the Raiders.
Or Cooper Rush.
No. Cooper Rush needs to be on, like... Cooper Rush should be your
so
backup.
So much drama. Like, we have a good backup. Sean Clifford, he looked real good in preseason. Yeah, I'm very happy with him.
He needs to be... I want that guy to do good.
Yeah, he was great for half the season. He was.
I actually enjoyed watching the Cowboys play. Like, I didn't want to, but, like, I just, like... He's underrated, under-talked about. I don't think he should be a backup. I don't think the Cowboys should be thinking about getting rid of him and keeping Dak and Trey Lance. Like,
crazy.
Are you serious now?
I don't know.
He should go to the Browns.
George has a theory that they're going to use Trey Lance like Taysom Hill, like the Saints use Taysom Hill. They're going to kind of like use him as like a running quarterback kind of type thing, like interchange them.
That's
maybe
too complicated.
I feel like that's like a modern offense.
I don't like this multi-quarterback scenario. I don't like it.
The future. Okay, what's the next matchup?
Did it work for the Saints? No.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Oh, our next one is the Eagles at Patriots. Let's go.
I know what I'm doing.
So this game is also something about Tom Brady. They're going to be like retiring his jersey. Oh, go Birds.
I'm not being bias either. I genuinely think.
I will be really okay. If they lose to the Patriots at the Tom Brady ceremony, the NFL is rigged. That's where I'm going with that.
Did you see that thing I sent you on Instagram with like the NFL ad for the season where they're like going over like the script reading for the season?
No.
Oh, we gotta watch it. It's funny.
Oh, maybe you did send it. I haven't been on Instagram, but they always pick us to be the team that like loses in these moments. Like when we had to play Dak Prescott on his homecoming return from his heart-wrenching ankle injury, and then we had to play Dallas at home, and just the refs were like blind when we had the ball and like holding calls when we didn't have the ball.
I always love that Halloween costume come Halloween where it's like the referee costume, but he's like has the blind glasses on and like the blind stick, the blind rat. It's good.
I love it.
It's a good one.
Okay, then we have the Rams at Seahawks.
Ooh. My man.
Papa Pete.
Papa Pete! He's back, baby. We played the Seahawks in our final preseason game last week, and I just loved watching that game and watching Pete Carroll rage the whole time. He just looked so angry on the sideline. I'm like, Pete Carroll, you're going to have a heart attack. You're like 70-something years old, and this is preseason. Relax.
I love Pete Carroll.
He's so pure. I love him so much.
That is my transformation. Like, I hated Pete Carroll as a child.
Me too.
As a child. Like, that's crazy. And now I'm just, like, so obsessed with him.
He's so cute. And that video I sent of you, like, of him
with
catching
passes.
passes.
Oh, that went viral.
And throwing passes. It was so cool. He's so athletic.
Did you see all the celebrities that was like,
no.
Pete Carroll, what are you doing to these boys out there?
It looks great.
The Seahawks are just like, I think they're going to be a fun team to watch.
I do too. I think they're going to be good this season again.
I think they're going to be, I think that division, it's going to be between the Seahawks and the 49ers. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks end up at the top of that division.
I wouldn't either.
It'd be pretty cool. And, Geno Smith, again, I think he's somebody that's not really talked about. Like, a lot of people are saying that last season was just a fluke. But I don't know, like, he looked like he knew what he was doing, so either he's a good actor or, like, he's the real deal, so we'll see where it goes. Okay, and then we got I can't read my handwriting. The Dolphins and, what the hell? It starts with a C. Chargers, okay. Bless you, don't give me COVID. Oh, you didn't give me COVID, but our final episode that we filmed was when you were sick, and you're like, it's not COVID.
And it was COVID.
Well, I didn't.
Allie didn't get it, though.
I didn't.
I'm sorry.
I had it, though, like, not long before you, like, over the summer.
She had
her
antibodies.
Antibodies.
What was this? Chargers?
Dolphins and Chargers.
Oh my god, that's a tough one.
This is a tough one. Don't spy on me.
I'm not. I don't know what to do. Where's it? At home?
Chargers.
Chargers. Chargers.
LA.
I'm changing it. They say always go with your gut instinct, but I didn't. Okay, fins up.
Chargers.
Ooh, I erased Chargers. I had Chargers.
I wasn't quite sold on.
I'm not either,
Tua.
but
I think Waddle still might be injured. That's going to be a good matchup. That's probably going to be the best week 1
really
game.
good game to watch.
Honestly, all these 4:00 games are
right.
pretty interesting.
So we got week 1. We're playing at 4:25. You are, and the Dolphins. So that
and the Seahawks.
And the Seahawks. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What games are going to be on at the bar?
Hopefully all of them, because there's only 5.
We're going to have one on our phones.
The final game, Packers at Bears.
Oh, God. I just want to be your landlord. I just want to own you. I have to go with the Pack.
Of course, me too.
I have to. I don't know what to expect. This is very exciting for me because this is the first season of my lifetime, really, that I have no expectations. But I hope that Jordan Love will continue the ownership of the Bears.
So the Bears, I feel like immediately in the offseason were a threat. And then, like, all the moves they made kind of went down the drain because they got rid of most of those players.
I mean, Khalil Mack's gone. But now they have DJ Moore.
They got rid of the guy they got from the Steelers midseason, though. Didn't they?
I don't know. I'm drunk.
They sent away some good players. And
they did send away some good players, but they also acquired a lot of good players. And I think a lot of people...
They gave up their draft picks.
Yeah, to Carolina, but they got DJ Moore in exchange. And a lot of people think this is the year.
It's not.
You don't think? I've seen the division standings that predicted, and they think it's going to be Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings.
I think it's going to be Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings.
That's kind of what I think too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be Bears.
Swap it could Vikings, be,
Bears. I think Vikings are. I don't know.
I think they're going to decline.
You guys
the
are
Vikings.
all confusing to me because
the division is wide open for anybody's taking.
That's going to be interesting to follow.
Yeah,
the standings in your division.
Sure. It's an easy one at least because really it's up for grabs.
Yeah, it's probably the most open division there is.
No one really knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Especially with us being the way we are.
I think every division has an obvious and then maybe even a close second, but you guys are just all it could really go either way.
It could.
I think
that'll be a fun one to watch.
It's funny though that you're saying majority people are going with the Bears because I think that a lot of people would go with the Vikings, but they just lost a bunch of players.
A lot of people are high on the Lions right now thinking they're a Super Bowl pick.
I think they like the coach, is what it is.
Totally.
He's
and
popular.
they looked decent last year. They got close. Honestly, if it had to be anyone other than us, I would hope it would be the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool to see.
It would be cool. I wouldn't even be mad. Although those Lions fans we saw at Slackers last season during the playoffs or before the playoffs.
I think that guy was just being there to be annoying.
Yeah.
You know those people. The people that go to the bar that
just kind of rile everybody up.
Yeah, it's just go. You're
coming to a Packers bar
targeted this
just to instigate a situation.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, so that's our Sunday night. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Our 8:20 game is the Cowboys at the Giants.
Ooh.
I'm glad we get that out of the way week 1. It's a tough one.
I'm going with my first instinct, even though I don't like it.
I went with the Giants.
I'm going with the Cowboys.
So,
Ew.
I have
a weird
feeling about the Giants this year.
Okay.
But I think my mom put it in my head. You know, Saquon Barkley,
Saquon.
another first round picker.
And he's on a 1-year deal.
I don't think...
Which he's going to have to go
He
crazy
has a
again.
lot of weaknesses. Once you figure Saquon Barkley out, like, he's done for. And...
I think his quads are second-tier quads.
No.
I think the quad father has better quads.
You think? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to need a quad off.
That would be cool. NFL, do a quad off.
Can we smash some watermelons?
Yeah, sorry, but I think he's the quad
I'm biased.
father.
I think he's the OG. I
His
think
quads are massive.
Saquon's the OG, and then the quad father is A.J. Dillon second.
You know, I just think that whenever players have all this, like, postseason drama with, like, their contracts and everything,
It's distraction.
it always ends up not working out for them. And, like, I think that Saquon, like, you know, I think it's the first season that he stayed pretty healthy, but he still wasn't, like, super impressive. I think he was impressive because the rest of his team was lackluster.
Okay.
So, like...
That's a very good assumption.
Yeah, and, like, again, like, we had a very easy schedule being in the NFC East, and, like, I can't...
So this will be a true test.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look at who we're playing this year.
We got an insane schedule.
So, again, like... But also, I don't think the Cowboys are going to be... I think our division is going to be Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders.
I think that's like a great prediction.
Yeah. But if the Giants ended up squeaking ahead of us, I would be annoyed, but not
I think
surprised.
they're your biggest issue, for sure.
We'll find
in the
out.
Division.
Well, this season is going to show me as an Eagles fan is how adaptable our team is. And I think that I'm thankful that we're having this schedule at this point in Jalen Hurts' career, because last season, if this was our schedule, this man would be a much different quarterback, and he wouldn't be our answer. But I have a lot of faith. This is going to really test him, and if we, like, prevail through this schedule, this is going to be crazy.
It's like, it's proof that he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Very
I'm so
exciting.
excited. All right. And then Monday night. Oh, okay. Good Monday night game. Bills at Jets.
Woo! New York Packers.
Yeah.
New York Packers. Oh my God. There's this energy with Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know if it's just because I'm biased, but I feel like when that man hears a lot of talk, he sets his mind on something and he makes his mind up and he goes out and achieves it. And that's why I'm kind of...
The Packers? Or
I'm
sorry,
kind of...
the Packers. The
I'm
Jets?
kind of... Like, I know Rodgers, I know his energy. Like the whole Jordan Love thing. When they drafted Jordan Love, he's like, well, fuck this. And he goes out and he gets 2 MVPs back to back.
I don't remember the Jets having a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers
They've never...
for a
well,
while.
It's been... decades?
This is going to be an interesting season.
For sure. It hurts. It hurts my soul because it, like I said earlier, it's like watching your ex-boyfriend thrive. Like, he did you wrong and then you're watching him thrive. But I also, like, want him to succeed because I love him still. Like, I still, like, have feelings for him a little bit.
So, if this was a thing, you would be checking to see if Aaron Rodgers watched your story.
Totally. That's, like, so accurate. So accurate. Let me just check who saw my story. Oh, he saw it. Okay.
Don't need to scroll any further.
I hope it looked good. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do here. Do you know what you're going to do here?
I already wrote mine.
All right. I'm going Jets.
I went Bills.
Wow. All right. I think Rodgers has a lot to prove on this new team, and if I know Rodgers and I know his mindset, I know he's going to go out and he's going to win it.
So,
and I hate it.
I went with the Bills because the Bills beat Aaron Rodgers last time.
They sure did.
I think
Very
that...
mediocre, but sure did.
I think...
That's a very good reasoning.
Okay, I don't know how to put this in words. This is like the episode of me not knowing how to put things in words. The Jets have had so many changes that...
You think they got to find their groove?
And going against a team like the Bills, who have just been so
established.
solid,
Yeah.
like
Fair.
they are going to be like more
They're like
adaptable.
a well-oiled
Yeah.
machine at this point.
I think this game is going to be very
That's true.
close. This is going to be probably the best game of
the week. I'm kind of stoked that we went different on that.
Yeah, we went different on a few of these.
On a few.
Yeah,
Which
this
I
will
like
be
that we
interesting.
do that.
Me
It
too.
never really benefits me, but maybe the
Sometimes it
turntables.
does.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bills and the Jets, like I don't know what made me say the Bills. I just think that like, but again, like the Bills are also a team that like, if they don't adapt right away, then they just crumble and there's no coming back. Like, we saw that a lot last season.
I just don't think they're used to being in that position, that situation of not being great.
This will show growth
Yeah.
from Josh Allen.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
A good closer for week 1.
That's a huge closer. I'm excited to go out after work and watch that one.
Me too. Now that we close at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so now that we have that, before we go into our Super Bowl predictions, I want to just go over that trade with you. Hopefully it's still there.
Yes,
so,
I want to know the trade.
Yes, okay, so I had a trade from, maybe it's not there anymore. Oh, there we go. So I love this. The team that offered this trade is called the Darth Raiders.
That's good.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Not a huge Star Wars fan, but okay, so he's asking for T. Higgins and Jamal Williams. And what he's offering me is Mike Williams and Kenneth Walker. I don't know. I know.
No.
I know. I'm just like,
No. Would you take that pick?
no.
Tell us in the comments.
I don't know if like,
Maybe I'm just biased because I love Jamal too.
I feel like,
But-
okay, also I have T. Higgins as wide receiver too. And I have Jamal Williams as my flex. And he's offering me Mike Williams as his flex, who's his flex, and then Walker on his bench. And I'm like,
Nah.
look at how you,
Say.
like,
Denied.
like, okay, like, this is how you kind of, like, prioritize these players and how you, their value to your team compared to, like, I would never, like, offer that to somebody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get,
And
like,
also-
irritable with trade proposals.
Like,
the
why?
beginning of the
I mean,
season. Like, I
but
get
it is,
it.
like, you're just shooting your shot and, like,
Yeah.
I'll either deny or
You never know.
I'm going to leave it in limbo. I'm not going to do anything.
You'll
And
leave
they
him on red?
Yeah, I already did. Should I send a message? I might just be like, I like your name. But, so
Ominous.
this guy, hang on. He has a decent team too. So actually I take that back. He has Derek Carr, Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Ingram, Mike Williams, McPherson, the kicker, Cincinnati defense.
Just deny it.
He has Ayuk on his bench.
Ayuk, that's another guy I'm high on this season.
He has Jacoby Myers, Antonio Gibson. Like, no, I'm not.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm not taking that trade. So the team that I'm playing against week 1 as of now, I'm playing against, which I'm predicted to lose, and like, I'm annoyed at that.
Draft
Justin
grades,
Fields.
predictions, they don't mean anything.
No. So I'm going against Justin Fields, CeeDee Lamb, who they have projected at 14 points, and I'm like, against the Giants? Calvin Ridley, so I'll get to
we'll see how that
see
plays
how
out.
that went. Barkley, Najee Harris, K. Pitts, Godwin, Sanders, the kicker for Miami, Baltimore defense. This guy has a lot of good people on his team, too. I'm telling you, so like this season in my fantasy league is like way better than the teams I played against last season. Like there was like one stacked team.
Wobbling up.
The team that has Jalen Hurts in my league is like
Stacked.
crazy. Who is it? Let me see if I can find it.
10 men are like always stacked. It's tough, but it's like easy at the same time. I don't know. It's fun. I have a draft on a week from today.
Oh my God. Okay, so. Oh my God, I completely forgot about Debo Samuel. He went under my radar.
See?
So
They got a lot of weapons.
The guy that has Jalen Hurts, I think he's predicted to have the most points in the whole week. He has Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Debo Samuels, Dobbins, the running back for Chicago, Herbert, Travis Kelce, Damon Pierce. Yeah. The kicker for Buffalo defense. He also has DeAndre Swift, has Judy, has Pickens. Komet, he has Aaron Rodgers as his backup. Schuster on his bench. That guy's probably winning the league.
You don't know. Anything can happen.
He's playing against Deshaun Watson.
That's all I'm saying. Anything can happen.
Yeah, this guy is like super predicted to win the week. And then, this other team that's also really stacked. This guy has Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, McLaurin, ETN, Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews, Tucker for the kicker, San Francisco defense, Dak Prescott as his backup, AJ Dillon. Yeah. Damn. I'm playing in a league of studs this season, so.
Stacked.
All right, so are we doing our Super Bowl
picks?
I'm
just looking at my stuff right now. I'm just trying to figure out. So we're going to do division leaders.
Are we doing that?
We're going to do AFC championship prediction, NFC championship prediction,
and then
Super Bowl prediction. Teams and winner.
You can pick 3 for each division. I have mine already.
Ooh, okay. All right. AFC... So I'm going to do my AFC championship winner.
The teams.
The teams that are going to be in that game.
Yeah. Should we start with the AFC first?
Let's start with the AFC. Can I do my wild card and my wild card winner, and then my teams going against each other in the championship game? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, who do you think's going to be? Who would your 2 picks for the championship game be? If you had to just pick on the fly, like right now.
What I'm doing. I'm between... Okay,
because also it always depends on the bracket.
Because
Okay. And?
God.
You get a wild card pick, too.
Jets
and Bengals. Why not the Chiefs?
I don't know. I just want Jets and Bengals.
So I went with Chiefs and Bengals.
Okay.
Which is, I think, a little predictable.
Yeah, but honestly, there's consistency there, so it's not far-fetched.
Right away, I was just like, Chiefs, Bengals, but I wouldn't be surprised to see... I didn't even have the Jets at all.
Fair.
I went with...
Hope so.
My wild cards, I went with 2. Both sides, I went with 2. So if you want to throw a 4th team in the mix.
I kind of like the Dolphins.
I have the Dolphins as one of mine.
I kind of like the Dolphins.
And I have Baltimore.
Interesting.
As one of
That's
mine,
interesting.
Too. Because I think that...
I don't hate that.
I think that even though Baltimore is like full of a lot of like oldies for football. They're not old, but they're
wise.
Yes. And I just think that that's going to create its own chemistry.
Totally.
And I think a lot of people, like, honestly, like, I could see Bengals, Baltimore.
The AFC is a lot easier to predict than the NFC, in my opinion.
But there's so many good teams.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Like, so I just feel like I'd be stupid for not considering the Chiefs. Like, I kind of have to.
You're absolutely right.
But at the same time, like, I just have this weird gut feeling about Baltimore this year.
I like it.
So you had said Bengals, Jets,
Dolphins. I feel like I'm riding like the trendy train.
Jets, Dolphins. Did you have a 4th team just in case?
Yeah, the Chiefs.
The Chiefs? Okay. What about your NFC teams?
It's tough. Definitely taking you guys, the Eagles. I kind of like the Seahawks as like a wild card. I'm so biased. It's hard.
Just say what you want to say. NFC is wide open.
Saints. Give me Saints, too. The North, though. The North is so hard to predict.
You think they're going to be one? Oh, you're just picking your winners.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just trying to narrow it down. Who I think the top will be. I think it will be you guys. Oh, no. It'll be the Niners.
So you went with Eagles, Saints,
Yeah.
Niners, and
Seahawks.
Okay, interesting.
I think the Niners will come out on top, though.
Will?
Yes.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm between you guys and the Niners, obviously.
Just like the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on the 49ers. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine,
I think they're all
honestly.
like glitz and glam, and that's about it.
So my Super Bowl, I'm going Bengals, Niners.
Bengals, Niners.
Yeah. What about you?
So for NFC, I went with the Eagles and the 49ers again. But I'm not sold on the 49ers.
What's your backup?
I went with the Saints and the Giants.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I would love that Super Bowl. It's different.
The Saints and the Giants?
Absolutely.
I would not like that Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
I
I
like
like-
in there.
Of course, but it'd be cool to see something different.
So if I were to pick a Super Bowl, statistically, I think the Chiefs and the 49ers. But
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
that's, I feel like, again, that's just what people are
It's
wanting us to
predictable.
think. I don't think the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs might make it to the championship game and then have an upset. But I don't know if the Bengals are like,
There.
I don't think they're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm going to go, I know my mom would love a Dolphins-Eagles Super Bowl.
That'd be cool.
I'm
I would be so happy to see the Dolphins in there.
going to go Baltimore 49ers.
Love that. I could totally see that happening. I don't think that's far-fetched.
I think that this is just me kind of like speaking out of trauma, but the Eagles, there's no way we're going to go to a back-to-back Super Bowl. Like,
It's happened before.
it has. I don't think that I'm that lucky to be that fan that gets to go to a Super Bowl twice, but
Never know.
I don't know.
can't
I
wait.
don't think the 49ers are winning the Super Bowl, though. If they do, I'm just going to, like,
Your head's gonna explode.
I'm going to melt. It's just going to be, like, not fair is what it
The
is.
Super Bowl's never... I
I'm
feel like
gonna
it's
lose
never
faith.
exciting because it's, like, very predictable always. I mean, the fact that you guys were in it last season was great. It kind of gave us, like, a different vibe.
I hate that we both think the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl.
I think a lot of people think that.
Well, I hope they're wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants end up making it.
Yeah, they were on course last year. Jets could come in and...
I don't like the coach for the Giants, but I do at the same time. Daigle.
Yeah. I like the Jets coach.
Yeah, he reminds me of, what's his name? Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I'm not sold on the Jets as much as you are. I think that you're just having...
It's just a lot of hype, and I'm, like, romanticizing that
loyalty.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but...
Absolutely. It's hard not to have a little bit of bias. I don't know. We have so much...
It's gonna be
So much to
interesting.
see,
Like,
and-
I wish I could, I wish I could see the future and like.
Me too, because I would definitely put a lot of money on this stuff, and
I don't know, like.
we have a lot to look forward to.
It's gonna be interesting to see, like. I mean, there could just be a total, like, there could be somebody not on this list, on
Absolutely,
either of our
a
lists that
completely
ends
different.
up being there. I find it interesting that neither of us said the Bills.
Yeah, I just have a. But you know, it's funny. It's like last year we said the same thing with the Chiefs, and then look what happened. So maybe this will be the Bills' year, just based on our luck. You never know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Leave us your Super Bowl predictions and your division predictions
Predictions.
and your wild card
Yeah.
predictions, because I want to read what you think, too.
I would love to see that.
Me too. That's so fun.
It's fun seeing, like, all the things that people, like.
Yeah. And I
Their
know
predictions.
you have Eagles bias, I have Packers bias. Our subscriber might have 49ers bias and want to kill us because of everything we said in this thing today, but...
Like, I'm always, I'm like
fine
a
with them.
nonconformist is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm not impressed by the 49ers at all. I mean, we destroyed them in the NFC Championship, and that's all I have to say about that and that team. But, like, I'm not trying to, like, be big-headed or anything, but I think that I see, you know, like, this can go for any team, but, like, a lot of people just don't. We talked about it not that long ago, but, like, a lot of people don't want to like the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why you never hear us as one of those teams until it's, like, crunch time and, like, you have to.
Right.
And I just, like, there's something different about this team this year. Like, we're not that much of a different team from last season, but, like,
you're more comfortable. You're more in your groove.
There's going to be a lot of exciting moments this year.
I just hope we're back here in like January and I'm like talking about the Packers like going to the Super Bowl. It's a long shot. We have to remember where Rodgers started when he was his first year playing. People can't have high expectations yet for our team at least.
I think Love is going to be he's going to be a good
I think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be around for a little while. Yeah. I do. Hopefully I'm right. Well, what do you think?
Was there anything else that...
I think we covered a lot of good stuff.
We did.
Hopefully you're still with us.
I wish that this week was week 1.
I know!
Because we still have to wait a full week.
So, we will be coming back with our first official season episode the Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to film on Tuesday, but I'm not sure when we'll get it up. I'll try to have it up on Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, wait, you mean
after week 1.
After week 1.
After the week 1 games.
Should something come out and we want to do like a mini-sode.
Correct. If there's some crazy breaking news or something happens and we can do like a mini-sode, we will.
Yeah.
But expect our next episode, our week 1 recap to come out
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Wednesday after the game opener.
We'll hear about your draft. And then we're doing a money league together.
Yes, we're doing a money league together. I'm drafting a week from today in my other Yahoo league, so I'll have my teams up by then.
Who is your... That's one thing we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about your...
You know, I'm not really sure. I'm high on a few players, but I think
Who's your round 1 pick?
I don't know yet.
You didn't have anybody.
Honestly, like, I kind of got to see where the cards fall. I think we should save that for the next episode. Yeah.
All right.
Because I feel like I'm going to need to feel it out as it happens. I might go wide receiver first this year. Never done that in the past. I usually take a running back first. I don't know if I could take Justin Jefferson.
I like the running back first.
I know. It's kind of like a solid thing.
Running backs, they're more reliable.
They are.
You know, less things can go wrong with a running back. And they put up big points. I feel guilty about not taking Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry did not go first round in my league. He went second round,
Interesting.
I think that's more of a Tennessee thing than a Derrick Henry thing. But, man, that guy got me so many points.
He's solid.
You know who I was guilty on about not drafting was Hawkinson's.
Yeah.
I loved having him on my team.
I don't know. I think that we're going to have to save that for next episode. Because I think my pick is going to determine a lot of who I draft.
Okay.
I don't really think I'm going with a strategy this year. I think I'm just going to kind of freeball it.
Okay. Autopilot.
Not auto draft, but autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just adaptable.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I guess we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After our first week of football, finally.
Season, we're here. We made it. Finally.
So close.
So exciting.
I can't wait.
I know. All right.
All right.
Are we good?
That's a wrap. I think
That's a wrap. Bye, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.